All right, guys. So we are over here for Nvidia earnings today, chat. Nvidia earnings. The S&P has basically gone down a little bit from this report. Let me know how it worked. It should have worked. Yes, the stream is here. Let me know if it redirected. Did it redirect? Let me know if it redirected. It should have. I just want to make sure it did. It looks like we got 500 people here, so it almost certainly did. All right, cool. All right, guys. So, yeah, we're here. Our second stream in the last few hours, guys. All right, cool. All right, let's check out Nvidia now. Here's Nvidia right here. Down a little bit on the day, but that's all right. Here, we're going to get a timer up. We'll put up what Nvidia is expecting now. Nvidia is expecting, chat. Nvidia is expecting 555 on 24.17 billion in revenue. 555 EPS. Revenue of 24.17 billion. There we go. There shouldn't be an echo anymore. We closed out our stream. Let me know if you guys hear anything. Yeah, if you spam buy or sell gold, I'm going to ban you. Okay. You could talk about gold. You could like gold. You could want to buy gold. You could want to sell gold. If you spam buy gold, sell gold, or I'm going to buy gold, or I'm going to sell gold, or I'm going to buy gold, I'm just going to ban you. Okay. Gold spammers, I'm watching you. Okay. I know what you're doing in here. Yes, D's, it's in the description, brother, as well as the promo code. The coupon code is in the description, bro. All right. Whew. Let's do this, chat. Nvidia earnings live here. Nothing here should be taken as forward-looking statements, etc. I know my channel's busy when I run out of banners. I've already had 50 saved ones. All right, guys. Market's bouncing back a little bit. Let's see if it holds. Tomorrow we got jobless claims, but Nvidia earnings should be the big mover of the markets today. Buy Pokemon Gold for valid. GameStop's ripping up. Is it really? You've never seen the spammers? Yeah, promo code is BT, guys. BT. Nvidia, again, sitting right here now at 940, 930s. Will it break 1,000 today? I'm going to do that poll. We're going to do that poll question. Will Nvidia break 1,000 today? Chat. Will Nvidia stock break $1,000 a share today? Yes or no? I think that's probably the best option we could use. We got our Nvidia earnings. We got double posts here. We got sounds. We got... All right. Yes, it will. Maybe the day after tomorrow. Solar stocks today after stuff going on. It will be above $1,000 tomorrow. GameStop gets a hug. I'll hug GameStop. All right. Shake out, boom. Hey, we'll see. 9,000 easy. 10,000 in my opinion. Nvidia will break if it stops doing what it's doing. Pumped after earnings, dump after the 23rd. Hey, maybe, brother. Gold is sleeping. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. Takes 5 30-minute naps a day. You can't trade any options after 4 p.m. from my understanding. Although I don't see, maybe for 15 minutes you might be able to. I really don't know there about Robinhood or 15 minutes after the closing bell. What I do know is that Nvidia earnings are scheduled to drop after the closing bell today, and it's something that you want to just be very, very, very understanding of. This is a big thing for markets. This is probably the biggest market event that we've had in a long, long time. So just be ready, chat. It's a huge report. They should announce a split today if they want more investors. Maybe. I mean, it's up there. The price is high enough to justify a split, I would say. Well, what kind of split are they going to do? A 2-to-1 split, I guess, is something they could do. All right, so here's the timer. We'll try to trade a little bit today. I guess we can. Again, the idea is to trade chop right now, but all right, so the FOMC minutes report is out. We had the CPI report come out, or we had the I wonder if the report changed anything. All right, so again, ECB's Schnabel says if data confirms outlook, June cut is likely. They see slight revival in Euro area economy. Again, remember, Goldman Sachs CEO Solomon says 0 rate cuts this year by the Fed, he thinks. Market is ridiculously volatile right now too. Weird. So we're scalping a little bit on Trade-Evate leading into this report. We are in Nvidia right now. Again, you can kind of see we're up about $210 on Trade-Evate, and this is on Apex. We got Nvidia on the left side. We're kind of watching the SPY. I do kind of want to buy this dip, but I also don't trust it necessarily. We got a cushion on the day that we can play with. All right, we bought one contract here. All right, so we're up 235 on the day now. You can kind of see my profit. GPUs are the main drivers. Palantir will go up. I'm in Palantir, I think, still. Let me make sure. I haven't sold it. I don't think I have. Yeah, I'm still in Palantir. It's down a little bit. My average price in there is 19s, though. How companies can spend so much money on AI when they are not profitable? Are you talking about Nvidia? I mean, so let's take a look at Nvidia. You get a lot of people's argument. It's like, oh, Nvidia's extended. Nvidia's extended, right? So Nvidia exactly a year ago was at about $300 a share, right? About $300 a share. If you look at what price they are now, right, they're at about 3x what they were a year ago. So about 3x is what they were a year ago. So if you pull the calculator up and you look at the percentage, it's roughly the same. And so it's roughly the same. So again, if we look back, we were at 82 cents almost exactly a year ago in EPS value. Like earnings per share for Nvidia was at about 82 cents. If you look at the difference, this is a 6x difference between the $5 roughly that we showed up last time. Today we're expecting $5.55. And so in terms of EPS now versus a year ago, we've 6x'd. The share price is only about 3x'd in that period of time. It's gone from about 3 something up to 9 something, about 3x. If we look at revenue, which, you know, a lot of people are going to say, hey, revenue's a better look here. We can do the same thing with revenue. You know, we can do the same thing with revenue. And again, if we do that, same concept, right? Today it's about 22 billion. Today they're expecting about 24 billion. Exactly a year ago was at 7 roughly billion. If you do 7 times 3, it equals about what it is there. So again, in terms of share price, it's kind of followed up. It earns a lot more now than what it did back then. So, you know, AI has been improving Nvidia's bottom line in a very good way. And again, I'm not saying it's not extended on the upside. What I'm saying is people acting like it just has to come back down. You know, I don't know if they're really looking at the numbers. Gold's still breaking down here. Gold's still breaking down. All right, so the market has rebounded a decent amount. I'm still in the SPY. I'm still being stubborn with my little day trade there. Yeah, everybody's telling me to get into Euphoria, the show. I watched on one episode. I just couldn't watch it again. I don't know if I'm just so old I don't relate to it anymore. Certainly plausible. Look at the market bounce back up. Soundhound should get some love with it. If Nvidia does well, Soundhound should do well too. I'm in SOUN as well. I'm in Nvidia also. I'm in Intel. Oh yeah, I gotta unload some Intel shares. I should have already done it though, because Intel dumped today. But yeah, I gotta take some Intel off. It's not a huge trade, but I don't feel like risking too much. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, Intel did take today. Render, yeah, Rendo big crypto. Is AMC going green? I heard somebody say GameStop was as well. GameStop running up a little bit. AMC is green on the day. Yeah, but I'm looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ. You know, I know the Dixie has a correlation. Usually it's inversely correlated with the S&P and the NASDAQ. But I watch the dollar index. I've got 4 charts, chat. I've got 4 monitors that y'all don't see. I've got 3 monitors that y'all don't see. Y'all see one of them. I really have 4 monitors. 2 34-inch ultra wides. Y'all see one of the 34-inch ultra wides on the top. I have another one on the bottom that I manage the stream with. I have another one on my left and right side here. So, you know. Hey. All right, guys. Yeah, we're gonna be announcing it right here, covering it. We get thousands of people here because we cover it very fast when it drops. We cover it very, very quickly when it comes out. So stick around. We'll be here covering the entire thing live as it happens. Look at the market rip back up. So market's looking better, at least. That's good. Market's still bouncing. Intel's still bouncing up. Maybe I'm still in some of Intel. I just know Intel has I'm in Nvidia as well though. I just know Intel's gonna have. I'm really heavy in Intel. John, when you take a break? Never. I don't get tired. You know. Yes, that's a Kevin Gates quote. I do get tired. I love naps. Will the market hold today is the big question. Again, first quarter earnings is absolutely huge. All right, so we got our poll here. We got 700 plus votes. 65% think Nvidia breaks $1,000 a share today. 35% say no. Hey, thank you, Rich. So we finally got a little dip after the market bounced back some. Again, if Nvidia is sitting at 940s, roughly at 940s. Let's see if it holds. Again, our last Nvidia stream was our largest stream of all time. We got almost 100,000 views. I mean, I don't know. Are the pollsters right or wrong? I think it depends. It really depends. Like sometimes It depends on what the poll is for. If it's about an individual stock, it's usually bullish people, because typically the people that are watching the stream for the individual stock are holding said stock. So they're obviously, with confirmation bias, going to be bullish. And I'm a big believer in AI and Nvidia. AI has gotten so freaking powerful, man. Like, people don't understand. Again, I told this story a lot. About a year ago. I've been streaming for a long time. About a year ago, people were telling me, and I was arguing with people in the chat, people were telling me that AI was just a buzzword, that it wasn't going to be anything big, that it's been around for a long time, and that it's not going to change technology, and that it hasn't gotten any better, and like all these different like things discrediting the AI boom that we've seen over the last year. And again, I was sitting there a year ago telling them they were wrong. That AI, even from just a programming perspective, if you're a programmer, AI is crazy, crazy powerful. It's incredibly useful. And what we have today is way better than anything we could imagine a year ago. What we have today with specifically, just to use the latest example, GPT-4o is crazy good. Like, I was playing with programming indicators the other day, and look, let me pull one of those indicators up. I'm going to pull this indicator up. I was playing with programming it the other day, and because I know a little bit of JavaScript, Python, like React Native, mobile stuff. But when I was playing with it, I noticed, here, let me get this chart out of the way. I had an error that I couldn't solve. And so I sent it to ChatGPT, and I just sent it a picture of what my screen looked like. I said, hey, I'm getting an error message, and I sent it a picture with no other explanation of what it was. GPT-4o literally saw what my monitor looked like, figured out what the error was just by seeing the message, and fixed the error and sent me back the corrected code in about 20 seconds. Crazy useful, crazy useful. What it's going to allow, guys, it's going to allow production for this type of stuff to be crazy good, Like, production is going to increase dramatically. And so it's important to understand how good some of this stuff is. What did I call this? I had a code. Let me see. I can't remember what it was called. I had strict reversal. So here's one of the ones that they back tested me. Or here's one of the ones that they coded. I'm trying to find the other one. I thought I had more. Anyways. AI has gotten incredibly good. And the people who were saying it was just a buzzword, like, look at this. So again, this is just in hindsight, but look, strict reversal, beautiful bounce here. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it shows up, it's usually incredibly accurate. Look at this one, strict reversal, really nice bounce. I'll have to keep looking back at some of these here to see how often it shows up. I know this specific reversal code that I built doesn't show up that much. Look at this one. Literally calls out the bottom. Again, I'm not going to tell you what it's made of or anything like that, but it can be really useful, and it's really fun to build. But that type of stuff is going to we're just going to have an exponential growth in technology through AI. And I think it's incredibly obvious. It's very, very obvious that that's what we're going to get. And productivity has changed forever. It really is. It's just simply changed forever is the easiest way to put it. Candlesticks. Okay, we got that. We got the squeeze. Yeah, I'm trying to play with this. I had one that I built too. I'm looking for it. Yeah, there's a lot of them that I'm playing with that I'm looking at. All right, so the SPY bouncing back. Nvidia fighting its way back up almost to 940s, getting a little bit closer to 1,000 here for us. Problem with AI is the declining learning curve over time. Sure, but I mean, people are they're gonna fix that for sure. have not seen one example of AI making anything other than crappy, well, then you're not paying attention or trying it out very much. Like, yeah, if you never use AI, if you don't ever try to build anything, if you don't ever try to build technologies or coding or anything like that, sure, you're not going to see almost anything. And it's not the, like, look, some of the stuff it produces is not great, but some of it is really good. And it's not how good it is, it's how fast it can produce it. You can always fix spaghetti code after the fact. It's just different. It's just different. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, ChatGPT 4 is just really, really good. Yeah, you can also go back and say, yo, yeah, so here's the code. Let me see if it works. So look, here's another code that they built. We got an hour, guys, until Nvidia earnings. GameStop and AMC have been running back. Intel's even starting to bounce back. The market itself has bounced back as well. So again, here's the Pine script code. Here's the ThinkScript version. Okay, so let's see if this works, right? So again, I'm not going to show you what the code is. Let me, so this is an AI-driven ThinkScript code. All right. Look, this is completely AI-driven ThinkScript code. Look at this. So I had it. I'm not going to tell you what this code entails, but look at it. Again, look at it on the SPY. Literally called the very top. Breakdown, literally called this bounce. Follow through up. Like, look, we can keep going back and testing it. Again, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Look at this. Bottom, boom. Sell, top, bottom, boom. Sell, top, bottom. This one might not have worked, but that's the only one. Look at that. Literally called the bottom, top, top. This one maybe didn't work. This one worked. So again, I'm not going to show you what this is, but I had AI design this for me. For the most part, I gave it the idea, and I had AI code it. Here, now I got to get it off the chart now. But yeah, crazy powerful. Let me move this down so you guys can't see what it is, so I can take it off the chart. I'm going to save this, though. So we saved it on the chart. I'll put back up the 200 EMA. But again, my point is that AI has gotten increasingly better at producing good code, quality code, and the logic has improved. AMC's still running up. I wonder if there's, I don't think there's going to be a correlation with like with Nvidia and AMC and GameStop. Did you have to be super specific when telling GPT what to code? Not really. So usually it's a search and error type of thing. So like I'll say, hey, you could even be very vague, and I could say, hey, look, I'm trying to think of a code that does XYZ, right? Give me some ideas on building this code. And it'll look back at the history of coding and programming and trading, and it'll find you codes that people have said would work, and it'll say, well, what about this? And I'll say, yeah, give me that, produce that, and then I'll use it, I'll try it out. If it gives me an error message, I can either just copy and paste the code, the error message that it gives me. Usually when you're processing code, it'll say, hey, error on line 7, right? So so I copy and paste that code, I'll put it in, and it'll say, oh, I see what I did wrong, let me correct that for you. And so then it'll send it back. Now you can actually just take a picture of your screen and say, hey, I got an error, and it'll say, okay, I fixed it for you or whatever. And you just kind of you just kind of play with it until you get something that works. And again, eventually, you can get something that works. And that's what I mean is like the fundamental change to how we produce technology is a really profound thing with AI. People are acting like Nvidia is just crazy extended on the upside. I think there's so much more potential for growth in AI. I think AI, we're just on the very beginning of it. And I think it could still be crazy different than what it is now and still grow in a super heavy way. Yeah, well, originally it was a trading view code that I had converted to ThinkScript using AI, is what it was. Yeah, think of AI like it's a genie, kind of, right? But it's not going to be perfect, but you can have it correct itself. So you can just ask it to do whatever you want it to do. If there's a problem, just say, yo, fix this. If there's a problem in that, say, hey, you keep getting it wrong. Try doing this instead, and then it'll fix it or whatever. You just got to play with it. Again, if you have not yet, you probably don't understand how good AI has gotten. But just play with it, Don't you think AI-driven growth needs to radiate to other companies instead of just Nvidia? It will. I mean, and it has. It's not just Nvidia growing from AI. Have you seen Meta? Like, look at Meta over the past year. Like, look at Meta. Look at Google. Look at these companies over the past year. They're all up huge. Google, or Meta at the beginning of the year, 52 weeks ago, Meta was at 245. It's at 467 today. If you look at Amazon was at 113. It's at 180. It's not the biggest amount of growth. Apple to begin the year was at about 170. It's at 190s. There's a lot of tech companies that are doing really, really well now from AI specifically. Microsoft is probably the best example. Microsoft started the year at 320s. It's at 430s. So yeah, I mean, a lot of companies are already benefiting. Nvidia is just set up because Nvidia helps produce the computer power that AI needs. And so you got other computer companies or other chip companies doing the same thing as Nvidia though, and they're always going to have some market share. Which company gets the bulk of it? I don't see a problem with the company getting the bulk of the market share there. Would Nvidia affect gold? Nvidia is probably going to affect everything, is my assumption here. I think Nvidia. I'm in Nvidia right now. But Nvidia is probably going to affect everything. It's probably going to affect gold, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow, the Russell. It'll most likely affect everything. Almost all of tech will be influenced to a certain extent by Nvidia as well. So yeah, it'll probably influence everything. All right, Nvidia's up to 940s. Again, the SPY bouncing back also. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more off my SPY trade because I can. Yeah, and I don't know what Nvidia is going to do short term. I really don't. I think Nvidia can do anything. Earnings, even if Nvidia does better than expected EPS, sales, revenue, it doesn't mean it's going to go up. Nvidia is already up a lot. I hope it goes up. I'm in Nvidia. I want it to go up. And we're going to stream the entire earnings call live right here like we always do. But understand, anything could happen here. So just be ready because anything could happen. I'm not one that likes to gamble big on earnings plays. I'd like to just invest in good companies, and if they have good earnings, great, and it can pad those companies. And if it has bad earnings, maybe I could DCA into it if I think the company's good enough, or maybe I can just scale into it a little bit more if I think the company's good enough. But yeah. All right, guys. Again, we got 50 minutes left until Nvidia earnings. 50 minutes. All right, so let me do a Twitter post here. All right, let me look at our poll here. So we asked people when Nvidia break $1,000 a share today. Again, 66% of people say yes, 34% of people say no. Market's still bouncing back more and more, including Intel here. Will Nvidia save? I mean, the market's down, to be honest, over the past 5-6 hours. It needs 27 billion in revenue. I don't necessarily think it needs that high. I think it just needs to beat both metrics, and it's got so much supporters and hype. Yeah, C3 got the AI symbol. I don't think they're a fraud. I think they're just smaller, and people expect a lot from them. As a brand new company, I think they're just smaller. All right, SPY back to 529s here. Again, here's Nvidia, been on this upward trend for a minute now. Markets are mostly down after freaking Goldman Sachs, bro. Like, this is, I wish I was Goldman Sachs. Imagine having this much sway over markets, dude. Goldman Sachs, dude, at 12:30. Prior to the FOMC minutes report said this right here. Like, imagine establishing a huge short position, right? Imagine establishing a huge short position and then having your firm just kind of come out and say this. Wait, where'd it go? Yeah. Imagine having a huge short position and then having your firm just come out and say that 0 rate cuts are expected by this year by the Fed. Government spending and AI investments dampen the impact of higher rates. Basically, the higher rates haven't helped because of too strong of an economy. Inflation's still a risk, and we're not going to cut rates this year. They know that's going to tank markets. And it did. It dropped it big. SPY's only just now recovering back up from it. Well, is exactly what they want everyone to go long so they can clean sweep. The market makers are real manipulators. They get you every time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think every major economic report, every major earnings report, you got a bunch of doom and gloom people acting like the market's about to crash. I think as you mature as a trader, you realize that crashes aren't that common. And so betting against the strongest companies in the world is usually a sucker's bet. I'm not saying you can't find an edge doing it. I'm just saying, I think as you mature as an investor and a trader, you kind of start to stop trying to pick the tops of the strongest companies in the world. It's just a terribly bad edge trade. Very hard to do. I'm not saying you can't do it correctly. I'm not saying nobody has an edge doing it. It's just a super risky thing that's just unnecessary. I would rather, look, if the S&P and the NASDAQ give me 10% on average every year, I'm going to try to take advantage of that edge. I'm not going to bet against that edge, even if it's short term. Like, I can buy something short term after big extension on the downside, sit on it long enough to where it's usually going to go green eventually, even if I'm wrong short term, right? That's a big edge. I don't, the longer you hold a short position in blue chips, the more likely you are to lose money. I would rather take the other side, where the longer I hold a long position in blue chips, the more likely I am to make money, because the S&P, the NASDAQ, and blue chips are generally, as long as you pick the right companies, are going to go up over time. I just think too many people idolize short traders like Michael Burry and watch The Big Short, and they want to be a contrarian predicting the next market crash, but it just doesn't happen very often. It's not that easy to do, and even Michael Burry has been wrong, a lot. He's been wrong a lot. AMC almost back up to $5 though. Yeah, dollar cost averaging is obviously, as long as it's in the right companies. You know, penny stocks are crap. Never a DCA into them. They're almost all terrible. But if you do it in blue chip, you know, Magnificent 7 tech stocks, usually you're going to be okay. It just depends on how long you have. You could always get unlucky and get caught in like downward pressure, but if you hold it long enough, they're almost always going to come back. That's not true. What's not true? Right, exactly. It's easier to buy dips in good companies and short potential tops of good companies. That's pathetic and manipulation. I mean, whether it's actually manipulation is arguable. It's a gray area, I would say. Like, listen, it's not their fault they have that much sway over things. You know, imagine that if you just said, hey, I like this stock or I like that stock, it moved the stock 20%. You know, that's a big power. You know, it's not even necessarily, it's like, not even like you're trying to, but you're going to tell me you're not going to capitalize on that. I'm not telling anybody to do anything, but I'm not Goldman Sachs, and so it doesn't really freaking matter. But still. We got 45 minutes until Nvidia earnings. AMC just broke highs. Yeah, highs of the day for AMC. Nvidia to 980 aftermarket, over 1,000 by end of day Friday. Maybe. Clover Health. Dude, Clover Health's been around for so long, brother. Clover Health, CLOV has been getting pumped and dumped, brother, for years. CLOV has been getting pumped and dumped. Look at it. It pumped up to almost $30 back in 2021. Came all the way back down to $1. You know, buy whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Look, I'd rather buy the strongest companies in the world than, you know, there's a big misconception. And the misconception is that, oh, all strong companies start off as penny stocks one day. Like they were just young pups of stocks. And then they grew up and they turned into young men and mid caps. And then as they aged and grew a mustache, now they're just blue chip companies, you know, as adults. That's just not true. Most strong companies immediately IPO and they're $30, $40, $50 a share, have bigger market caps than most penny stocks. If a stock is a penny stock under $4 or $5 a share, it's a very, very like weak company overall. It's not a healthy company, almost always. Like, I'm not saying you don't rarely occasionally get diamonds in the rough that succeed, but if a company has gotten itself to the point where it's $1, $2, $3 a share, it's almost always crap. But they put out a bunch of sensationalized marketing and they talk a bunch of new naive traders and investors into buying them like they're somehow the next Amazon. And yeah, traders just get taken advantage of. It's you know, the tale as old as time. Where's Disney at? But yeah. SPY moving back up. It's back up to almost 529s. Yeah, buying dips just mean buying pullbacks, like buying companies that are down a lot over short periods of time. All penny stocks started off in the hundreds or thousands. Blue chips always start off in the pennies. I think you got it backwards. Penny stocks started off at pennies, and they usually stay under $2. Blue chips usually immediately IPO and they're $30, $40, $50 a share. Like a good example is if you look at like Meta, if you look at Facebook IPO'd, let me see. Facebook IPO'd in May 2012 at $38 a share. You look at Amazon. Yeah, so Amazon IPO was May 1997 at $18 a share. If you look back at the adjusted split price, it was 7.5 cents, but it's $18 a share is what it was. You can do this with every major blue chip company for the most part that's well known. Almost none of them are penny stocks, or started off as penny stocks, unless you're going back to like the 60s and 70s, in which like a $2 or $3 stock in the 60s and 70s is the equivalent of like a $15, $20 stock today. So it's just different. But my point is, don't get sold a dream with penny stocks. Again, in the Wolf of Wall Street, selling garbage to garbage men, and they were selling them pink sheet penny stocks. Like, don't be dumb. Like, understand what they're trying to talk you into. Sometimes the community around them will try to make you feel all this guilt and pressure if you want to sell. Ignore them. They don't care. They're just trying to pump up these terrible companies. Jerome Powell could just open his mouth and make all markets around the world fly or move. That's the real power. Hey, yeah, the Federal Reserve obviously has some power. I'm just glad they haven't cut rates yet. I just don't want the Fed to cut rates anytime soon, Yeah, the numbers come out after 4 p.m. Look at when blue chips start. They start off in the dollars, then rise. I think you're looking at split adjusted prices, 83. If you're looking at pure charts, you got to understand most blue chip stocks have done splits, which means that they have reduced their share price over time. And so when you look at a long-term chart of a blue chip company, sometimes it looks like they started off in the penny stocks and then they slowly crept up. That's usually because it's split adjusted, brother. Facebook IPO'd at $38 a share. Amazon IPO'd at $18 a share. Amazon, they're almost never penny stocks, bro. That's just something that's told to penny stock investors to get them to buy it, Yeah, Nvidia earnings in about 40 minutes, chat. Be ready. Still getting volatility here. I'm still waiting for something to happen, but hey, but thanks for the donation, brother. I appreciate the dono. Instacart opened at 42. Yeah, for sure. PBIG, dude. Vinco Ventures, brother. I remember with Shaq. But Shaq's a part of it, dude. How could it? Yeah, I remember that. Nvidia bounced up to 939. Still consolidating, though. Again, we still got 40 minutes left, chat. 40 minutes left. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's keep the growth up here. What the F was that? Anybody hear that, dude? Stop off hunting. All right, yeah, so SPY bounced all the way back to 529s, basically. Or 528.50s. Yeah, I don't know about swinging Intel calls. I think it's risky considering we got a big microchip stock dropping earnings that's going to influence all microchip stocks. So it's just a gamble. Just be careful, bro. Yeah, I see AMC, I see GameStop running up. I'm in them both right now still. All right, chat. We got 37 minutes here. 37 minutes. Be ready here. Again, this is probably going to be our largest stream of all time, or one of them. It's got a hit or miss. Our new largest stream of all time was, again, Jerome Powell's stream last Tuesday. We had about 14,000 watchers for that, 14,000 views. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But how do y'all feel about baseball this year? I heard a lot of people are having to get Tommy John after the pitch clock. All right, so S&P and the NASDAQ still bouncing back up some here, chat. I'm curious where Intel's going to go as well. Oh, I'm still in Target, guys. Remember, I bought Target earlier. I've already scaled out of most of it. I'll probably stay in the rest, though. Great Bambino. I think it's the Great Bambi. Easy Rider. I think it was, you know, his real name was the Great Bambi. His real nickname. 10-minute chart giving me buy signal. I don't know what to do. All right, guys. Again, 35 minutes until Nvidia earnings drop. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. You guys ready? $35 minutes. Again, look at the SPY come all the way down here and then right back up. I'm trying to catch the market news. Meta is considering new paid deals with media publishers for AI training data, according to insiders. Paramount debt holders with insights into the Shari Redstones think the deal she still prefers is Skydance, according to FBN's. Yeah, I've been in Nvidia. Shopify started to bounce back up too. We bought Shopify after earnings. I'm still down in it though, but Intel is rebounding some. We've been in this range though. I think we probably could get choppy behavior. You know. Especially like heading into Nvidia earnings too. We got big up and down pushes. I think we're running into resistance here too on the SPY. I think we could get choppy behavior. I'm in 2 contracts in futures here. We're already up about $200+ on the day, but now it's kind of turning against me here. Now we're basically flat. We're almost green. All right, we took half off there. We're only 1 contract now. We're up about 270, 290. All right, so now we're up about $300 in futures on the day. Whew. All right, guys. 30 minutes here, chat. 30 minutes. All right, guys, remember, we will stream the entire earnings call live. Yeah, we will stream the entire Call and report at close. Nvidia is expecting $5.55 a share EPS on 24.17 billion. Here, chat. The question is, do they beat or miss right now? Do they beat or miss? All right, so there's the SPY heading up. Nvidia is still running up. It's at 940s right now, so Nvidia is still bouncing higher. SPY up, but I still think the SPY might be a little choppy today leading into this report. I think the whole market's going to be apprehensive. Good earnings with weak guidance. Good earnings with weak guidance will drop. Okay, earnings with good guidance will pump. Yeah, I believe so as well. I think earnings and guidance, or I think guidance is going to be the big thing that you want to pay attention to. Yeah, I mean, Taylor, the reason I have it as 4 p.m. is because it could essentially drop anytime after 4 p.m. Companies like this, they are never always on time, or even like these type of companies almost never report it exactly when they say they're going to report it. It could essentially be anytime after the closing bell, and they could throw those numbers out anytime. Maybe it's at 4:20. Maybe it's at 4, maybe it's at 5. Like I've seen Nvidia has also been incredibly late before on these reports as well. So again, it could really be any time after the close. The call is certainly at 5 p.m. That's going to be on time. Yeah, you could watch the earnings live right here, Anthony. Again, as the thing right below me says, we will stream the full report and call live after the close. Be ready. I'm also going to put the expected numbers up. All right, Nvidia started bounce. It's hitting the 200 EMA. It's at about 940s. This should drag the SPY up short term as well, I would assume. AMC moving. Yeah, I see AMC and GameStop moving a little bit. GameStop's still red. Hey, thank you, Andy. New Zealand $5, huh, brother? I don't know how much that is, but hey, thanks for the $3, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. So y'all are more on par with like Canadian exchange rate. You're pretty close to the Canadian exchange rate. Coin and Mirror coming back. What's up with Boeing? I bought Boeing after the big pullback and all the ton of bearishness. It's been pretty volatile today, though, but I think the whole market's going to be choppy. I think Nvidia earnings are kind of the biggest event of markets in the last couple months. And so, yeah. What do you think about the other AI stocks? You think they'll be affected? Yes, absolutely. Other AI stocks are at least going to move a little bit with whatever happens here. Yeah, guys, you're going to be able to see the entire earnings call live right here. We will stream the entire call, the entire report. The reason we get thousands of people here is because we cover it fast and we're reliable. We'll cover the entire thing live as it happens. The Looney and Toonies, bro. I remember. My stepdad was Canadian. He recently passed away on Saturday. Rest in peace. Good guy, man. Just a good dude. Yeah, he passed away Saturday. So, Canada's a beautiful country, though. Best divvy stocks? I don't really buy stocks for dividends. Yeah, today's the Nvidia Super Bowl for sure. Honestly, it's arguable that Nvidia earnings are more influential over markets than like CPI or something like that. They're just big influences. There's the market rip up even more, back up to 529s on the SPY. I'm going to sell a little bit more. Sell some more up here. All right, we got a couple shares left in this last trade. Sorry for your loss. Yeah, it's definitely cold up there. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, he was a good guy, man. Again, I was a little, when I was, me in my teenage year I was a problem, dude. I had fun in my life though. We had fun. But when I was a teenager, I was a little jerk. And so he was as patient as he could be, man. Just a good guy. Just a good dude. Jensen said in his most recent interview, he works 7 days a week and even thinks about it when he's watching movies with his family. That's a man I want to back. Yeah, for sure. I think most of the successful people in the world, right? Like if you want to know who to bet money on in business, you got to find people that are deeply obsessed with what they do. Deeply obsessed with what they do. It's something I try to teach my son. My son's competitive, right? And I always try to enable that competition. Because competitiveness helps you. You got to be obsessed with winning. You got to be obsessed with building whatever you're building and obsessed with winning. And again, the fact that Jensen is obsessed with success with his company is a really good thing, of course. You need that, I think. All major billionaire entrepreneurs are almost all obsessed with their businesses. So. Yeah, I have ADHD, and I'm not talking about the people who are like, yeah, I got ADHD. I'm talking about the people that really have it. It's very noticeable when somebody actually has it when you talk to them. And I don't know, but when I get interested in something, I get absolutely obsessed with it. The problem is that it usually doesn't hold my attention for very long. Like, you get interested in things and you start to learn them, and then you learn a little bit of it, then you get bored with it and you want the next dopamine fix or whatever it is. My son's a lot like that as well, but I think that type of obsession can be good. I got obsessed about the stock market years ago, and now I've got a money producing YouTube channel that makes more money than most people make, and I can sit here and talk about the stock market every day with you degenerates. Hey, what's up, Lionel? AMC for the win. Hey. Yeah, are they still running up? I'm in AMC and GameStop. I want them to succeed. I see the big, massive spike in the stock market. I go 3 months at a time with my obsessions. Yeah. My latest one over the last year has been jiu-jitsu. I've been learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu and also striking. My wife freaking hates it, right? But it's so much fun, dude. It's so much fun. All right. You think I should hold Supermicro semiconductor trade until tomorrow? I have no idea, Ashton. I think Supermicro semiconductors might be really volatile from this report. Depending on if Nvidia has great earnings and rips up, SMCI should do well. If it has terrible earnings and rips down, it should do poorly. So with that said, I have no idea. It's a gamble. I'm certainly not going to tell you whether you should buy or sell it. I'm in Nvidia right now. I hope it goes up, but could be confirmation bias. I don't know. Yeah. But the obsessions are good, though. And when you're interested in something, the hyper-focus can make you really get a lot of stuff done in a short period of time. We got my son IQ tested. I tell this story sometimes because I think it's a fun story to tell. We got my son IQ tested because originally we were worried about autism. Because when he was really young, he showed some of the signs of it, like I did when I was a kid. But it's not autism. The analyst, whoever it was, or the person interviewing him, said he was pretty friendly. He would walk up and introduce himself and all these different things. But she said he had what's called ADHD combined presentation with bad impulse control. But when he got interested in something, he was absolutely obsessed with it, which is great. He scored, he scored like 125, 130 on his IQ test. So he's a smart kid. We got him tested at 8 years old. She said he probably would have scored higher than that as well, but he didn't finish his test because he got distracted, which I think is a good way to look at it in a nutshell. Hey, thank you so much, Cass. I appreciate the becoming a member, brother. Thanks, man. And I'm not even claiming to be super smart or anything like that, but my son is really smart. Just a really smart kid. Yeah, he's learned social skills as he's gotten older. All right, guys, we get the closing bell happens in 23 minutes. I talked about it yesterday, though. The people who usually end up the most successful in life are not necessarily the smartest people. Like, you could be really, really smart and a genius, but if you don't have the social skills to allow you to get through to people, it doesn't freaking matter, And so the ones that are usually the most successful are people that are really smart, but not so smart as to, like, there's sometimes a negative correlation between intelligence and social skills. So, like, the smarter you are, the less social you are, in some instances, I guess, in a lot of ways. So the people that are usually the most successful are people who are really smart, but not so much as to be a detriment to their social skills. So that way they have a little bit of both. So they can be social if they need to be and build cool things. You know, if you've ever listened to Elon Musk on a earnings call, you know what I mean about the social skills. But yeah, smart dude for sure. Trading allows you to do your own thing, sure, but it's not stable is the problem. Nvidia's pumping. Yeah, Nvidia's up. Market's following it. Nvidia almost up to 950. I think we got a chance to break 1,000 if the earnings come in good. You know, we have had a trend of the last few earnings reports where this earnings season, a lot of companies did really well for earnings, but they negatively reacted to them. And so a lot of that had to do with maybe extension. And a lot of companies did poorly on their earnings, but they ripped up from it as well. So we've kind of had opposite reactions a lot this earnings season. I hope Nvidia does well and they move up. But even if they do well, there's still a chance that it doesn't. And so I think you got to be prepared for anything here and just understand, even if they don't move up, you know, anything could happen. There might be a timer in the top left part of the screen. Smart people most of the time successful? I don't know. I think it depends. You know, I know a lot of really smart people that scored high on IQ tests that don't do anything, you know. So I think it depends. I think if you don't like being social, it's very hard to force yourself to be social. And so if you can be as smart as you can be, but if you can't be social with people, what are you going to do, you know? Everyone jumping in Nvidia right now. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's up. I think a lot of people are expecting it to hit 1,000. Even if we do hit a K, I don't think we're going to hold. I think a lot of the time those big milestone levels like 1,000 can be kind of like magnets, so where it pulls the stock closer as you get closer to it. But a lot of the time they tap it and it just doesn't hold. So I really feel like Nvidia is too overhyped. I don't know, man. Again, we talked about this as well a couple times earlier on the stream as well as yesterday in the last few days. If you look at Nvidia's EPS graph, it has followed it up. So a year ago, Nvidia, if we look at the chart, was at about $300 a year ago. So in May of last year, about $300 for Nvidia. Right before the big AI run that Nvidia's been on, if we look at earnings and revenue in the same period of time, here's revenue. But if we look at earnings, right, we look at earnings from a year ago for May 30th quarter, 82 cents a share. You know, that's about 6x what it was their last report. So it's 6 times where it was a year ago, right? In terms of earnings per share, like the amount they're making. This is really, EPS is kind of margins versus revenue, which is kind of like the ceiling. But EPS is 6x, right? So how much they're making in net profits has 6x per share. If you look at revenue, it's a similar thing. It's less of a increase, but it's still similar to the share price increase that we have now. A year ago, 7.192 billion in revenue. Today they're at, or last time they're at 22.1. Today they're expecting higher than this. They're expecting 24 billion. And so even if we miss today's revenue, we're still probably going to at least 3x what we were a year ago. And so if you correlate that with Nvidia's share price, you know, Nvidia is up about 3x where it was a year ago. It's at 300 a year ago. Today it's at 900 something. And so it's a similar correlation. And if we look at EPS, it's, you know, it's making a lot more versus where the share price is. So I don't know. I think it might be extended. I think it could be, but I also think AI is just a powerful thing that we're just on the cusp of seeing, like the production power that AI is going to give us. All right, chat. We still got 18 minutes. Overhyped and overpriced. I'm going to sleep now. Hey, good luck sleeping. Render. Yeah. I mean, AI is just crazy good now. You know, and you have to ask yourself here. This is always a fun conversation. Is did media predict, like, did movies and media predict where technology would go, or did it inspire it? Because if you look back at movies over the last century, a lot of them had artificial intelligence that seems to be similar to what we have today. And so the question is, did it inspire it or predict it? I don't know. I think either one of them makes sense, but probably a little bit of both. Prepare to see Nvidia market cap surpass Apple. Where is Apple's cap at? Let me see. 2.93 Nvidia. $2.3. So still got ways to go. Apple's still such a big company. All right, so now the markets are coming back down. SPY's coming back down. Nvidia's still holding up though. Skynet. Simpsons. Reality is stranger than fiction. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know a lot of people that were shorting Nvidia after the first burst in price. So once Nvidia went up to like 5s, I know a lot of people that were super bearish shorting it. Now we're at almost 1,000, and I'm sure they're not happy. They probably cut their positions, hopefully a long time ago. But Star Trek, I think Star Trek, like, I like Star Wars, and my kids watch Star Wars, and I grew up on Star Wars. My dad liked it, and so I watched it as a kid. Even though I didn't really like it as a kid, my dad always forced me to watch it. I only started to like Star Wars as I got older, and I had kids myself, and I can watch it with them, you know. But in hindsight, it's probably because my dad was trying to make me watch a movie from the 70s, in the late 90s, and so. Render, EBET. Is the timer for earnings report of the market closing? The timer is for the market close, but the earnings report can happen anytime after the closing bell, right? So the market could close, or the earnings could come out anytime after the closing bell. Hey, thanks, TTG. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Shout out to TTG for becoming a member. You don't get much for becoming a member, but you do get access to our coveted emojis. We got my wife, Carol. We got me. We got Rosie, the German Shepherd, our dog. But yeah, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you joining the stream, brother. Dad forced you. He didn't force me at the time. I didn't really want to watch it at the time. I remember. Again, I have ADHD. It's hard to make me sit down and watch anything, especially a movie from like the late '60s, early '70s, as a 9 or 10-year-old in the late '90s. You know what I mean? All right, guys. We got over 2,000 people here. We still got 15 minutes before, give or take, before the market closes. The SPY has pulled back a little bit, but Nvidia is holding that volume-weighted average price level, which is a big level. It's a big milestone spot over the purple line, over the 200 EMA. Those are big milestone levels. Man is sitting behind a computer screen for a living. Yeah, you know. And that's going to be more and more common as time goes on, for sure. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. I do software development. I'm a real estate agent as well. So, I mean, we got multiple income sources here. But yeah. When's your B-day, bro? You want my social security number as well? What about my, birth certificate? You need that? Just send me your email, bro. I got you. Yeah, a lot of people talk about Render the crypto. Render the crypto is a powerful thing. It's got some big backers. What I like the most about Render crypto is the people behind it. If you look at their website, look at some of these guys. Here's Render's team. Jules Urbach, Ari Emanuel, CEO of Endeavor, the parent company behind the UFC, J.J. Abrams, Mike Winkleman, Jennifer Scott. Like, look at all these guys. These are very powerful people in the world. So they got a lot of big believers in it. And so, yeah, I like Render Crypto for sure. I haven't looked at the chart much lately, but Force was within you. Yeah. The Force. 1,000 is coming today. I don't know, man. Maybe. What do you think about QCOM? Favorite UFC fighter? All time or right now? All right, Nvidia's getting really choppy ahead of the closing bell here. Shopify's bouncing back, though. Are you worried about AI stealing your identity? Nah. It can have it, bro. It can have it. Izzy? Nah, Izzy's not my favorite fighter. Listen, right now my favorite fighter is probably like Sean O'Malley. Alex Pereira. I know these are easy options, but like these are really probably the people who I like watching the most right now. Justin Gaethje. I like watching Jones fight. I just wish he would fight more. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. All right, guys, I'm going to put sub-only mode in chat here. So we're going to put it in sub-only mode. So, like, listen, only subscribers are allowed to speak now. Technically, they're scheduled. Yeah, Makhachev is great. Khabib was one of my favorite fighters. Unfortunately, he retired, and I think he retired too early. I get why he did it, though, but still. Oh, favorite fighter ever? I don't know. All right, guys, 9 minutes. Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is fun to watch. I'm not going to call him my favorite fighter, but he was fun to watch. He's better than Nick Diaz, I'll tell you that. Nick Diaz fell off too much as a fighter for me to enjoy his fights from now on. But yeah, Nate's fun. Frankie Edgar. He's just got pillow hands, brother. He's just got pillow hands. Tyson or Paul? My mind's telling me Paul, but my body's telling me Tyson. All right, I hope Paul loses and gets KO'd in 30 seconds, but it's almost certainly not going to happen, and Tyson will probably get dropped within a couple minutes, unfortunately. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I'm wrong. I'll celebrate if I'm wrong. But anyways, 8.5 minutes, chat. Nvidia falling down. I don't think this fall down really matters much. I think the earnings are going to move it so much it doesn't matter. Derek Lewis, a fun fighter to watch. Just get up, you know. I wonder how much we can inflate the bubble that is AI. The more the better. Dude, AI has gotten so good. Have you not used it? I don't think it's in a bubble. I think it's incredibly useful and powerful, and it's only going to get more and more powerful the better they design it. It's going to be editing videos in no time and building a lot of crazy movies and artwork. I think we're just on the beginning of it. Shows you have 11 people in here. Well, we got 2,500 roughly right now, give or take. Brock Lesnar, juice to the gills. Hey. Nvidia makeup or yeah. Do you think Khabib is boring? Not at all. I mean, I train jiu-jitsu, and so I don't think Khabib's boring at all. I think he's a beast at sambo, and he's very hard to beat. And it's like watching artwork when he fights. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the stock. I'll talk about MMA and jiu-jitsu and fighting all day. I don't want to. We got 7 minutes left, so I want to talk about the market and Nvidia. All right, Chad, give me your last minute predictions. What's their revenue going to show up as? They're expecting 24.17 billion in revenue. What's it going to hit? I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to go with, they're expecting 24.17. I'm going to go with 25.5 billion in revenue is what I'm going to guess here. 25.5 is my guess. What do you think they're going to show up as? Yeah, we got Snowflake as well. We got a bunch of stuff actually dropping at the closing bell today. Not just Nvidia. Nvidia is scheduled for 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. Snowflake is scheduled for 4:05. Synopsys is scheduled for 4:05, and Elf Beauty's expected at 4:05. So we're going to cover all of these as they happen. But Nvidia is the big boy that we're going to be watching, of course, today. They will meet expectations, but the conservative guidance will push the market down. We'll see. I hope they have good guidance. Again, this earnings call has the potential to shock the market. This is one of the biggest earnings reports of all time. Their last earnings report was one of the biggest earnings reports of all time. And so the question is, can it hold its gates? I've said this before. I think if Nvidia can just hold, I don't even think it needs to go up that much. If it can just hold, that's a powerful thing. And again, that will push back, or that will push the industry in the way we need it to push. You know, people hate on the stock market, but it does fund these technologies. And yeah, again, I hope it might be confirmation bias, but I think we're just on the beginning of AI and Nvidia. But again, it certainly could come down. Again, this earnings season has been weird in that regard, where companies have reported earnings and had great earnings and dumped, and had bad earnings and ripped. And so anything can happen. Just be ready, chat. 29 billion. Yeah, I don't necessarily expect it. I'm just guessing here. I'm going to guess, again, 25.5 bill for revenue. EPS expected at 555s. And so EPS, I'm just going to go with, I'm going to go with 560 EPS on 25.5 billion in revenue is what again, straight up guess. Market in the Nvidia stock. Nvidia is about to tap 950s here, chat. About to tap 950s. Right around it. The previous closing price, so the red to green level, is 953.86. So again, hey, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, chat. Be ready here. We got about 3,000 people here. We still got about 4 minutes left. We did a Twitter poll as well. 77% of people think beat, 23% of people think miss. Nvidia stock break $1,000 a share today. 71% of people think yes, 29% of people think no for Nvidia. All right, guys. Be ready. Again, technically it's scheduled for 420. Everybody's favorite number. Okay. That's specifically the time it's supposed to drop is 420. All right. We'll see if it comes out then. Again, the closing bell happens in about 3 minutes. Nvidia has broken up and tested 950. And again, like I've said, sometimes those big milestone levels can be like magnets, but sometimes they don't hold and they just reject off of it. And I think that's kind of what we see here. This is my third cup of coffee today. Ugh. All right. Are you planning on buying the NASDAQ index in futures? I mean, I'm in... look, here's my current position list. And I'm going to preface this with, I'm not telling you to buy anything. I don't know what you should do. I don't know what you should buy. I'm not telling you anything's going to go up. Again, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. I'm one of the top 3 worst traders of all time ever in the world. I'm not guaranteeing profits. I'm not telling you I'm profitable. I'm not even telling you I'm a good trader. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I do take trades off stream. Do not buy anything I'm about to say. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, with that said and out the way, my position list includes Apple, Airbnb, AMC, AMD, Boeing, Baba, Chewy, CVS, Delta, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Intel, Coca-Cola, Meta, MGM, Netflix, Nike, Nvidia, Pfizer, Palantir, Roblox, Shopify, Snapchat, Snowflake, SoFi, SoundHound, The Spy, Target, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Unity, Uber, Walgreens, and Walmart is my current portfolio in swing trades and investments. And so we're in The Spy right now. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to take a little bit off. I don't feel like holding The Spy through this. There we go. We're going to hold just a little bit here into this. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. Now, again, remember, technically these numbers are supposed to drop at 420 in 22 minutes or so. So we still got some time. I mean, I got about 100,000 in this portfolio. So, I mean, we got the money. Boeing? Dude, I bought Boeing after the drop. Like, listen, my strategy here, chat, is to wait for companies to wait for what I consider, in general, healthy companies. They don't have to be the best companies ever, but I wait for blue chips only, or maybe some mid caps. But I wait for them to drop massively short term. Like if a company reports earnings and drops 20% on mixed results and mixed guidance, I'm there to buy that dip and hold it as long as I need to hold it. Usually, this portfolio is very green. I'm up thousands on the year in this account. And yeah, I mean, again, I kind of feed off the bottom. I wait for healthy companies to drop big percentages and I buy them up and I sit on them. If I'm right short term, I'll take some profit. If I'm wrong short term, I'll either average into them, cut it, or hold it, depending on what it is. But if I'm taking the right stocks and blue chips, I can usually hold it long enough to where eventually it's going to come back up and be green. And I've got time. I don't need to sell anytime soon. For most of these companies, they're healthy enough to where I can just sit and let time heal a lot of wounds and losses. All right, guys, here's the closing bell in 30 seconds. Bronny James got picked in the second round. Did he really? All right, guys, 20 seconds. All right, guys, here's the closing bell in 3 minutes here, chat. And again, now, remember, these numbers could drop any freaking time. Anytime. All right, so there's the closing bell. All right, so here's the video. We're going to put up Snowflake for the time being. We're also going to put up the SPY on the other trade. Again, Snowflake is scheduled to release at 4:05. So we'll put up the SPY here. Nvidia's in the middle. And again, remember, guys, earnings can come out any freaking time. Any freaking time. I think they're scheduled for 4:20, though. So they're scheduled for 4:20. Let's give it some time. All right, the SPY is up. All right, we took a little bit more off our SPY trade just because we could, and we bounced enough after the close. Intel's moving up a little bit as well. Yeah, help me hit 140,000 subscribers here, chat. So again, I'm gonna put the timer it's scheduled to come out as, which is in about 18 and a half minutes at 4:20 market time. Watch Nvidia chart though. Snowflake is scheduled for 4:05, so in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. AMC got over $5 a share. Wow, it did. Yeah, again, Nvidia earnings are scheduled for 4:20 technically, but they could drop anytime now. So. Yeah, we got about 5,000 viewers. Again, the last Nvidia earnings, we had 14,000 roughly watching. Now, I think this one's a little bit less hyped up. This earnings call for Nvidia is a little bit less hyped up, but I'm going to go ahead and put out there, we're going to have our largest stream of all time ever in the world. Top 3, at least, for sure. Thank you for what you do. We try over here, Brad. Again, my big thing is, like, I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service myself. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't act like a guru. I don't charge for any content. Everything's free. I don't know. Bronny James just didn't do that well in college. I know he wasn't on the team to do well, but he did look good at the combine. So I don't know. I'm torn on him. I give him a shot. People are hating on him because he's LeBron James's kid, but give him a shot. I'm for it. Let him have a shot, man. You know. All right, guys. So again, remember, in about a minute and a half, Snow SNOW should drop their earnings. Have you considered creating a Mahogany John meme coin? You know, I haven't. And I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to create any cryptocurrency here, chat. Too much bad press for that stuff, dude. I'm not going to rug pull my audience. The earnings are scheduled to be released after 4 p.m. So again, technically they're scheduled for 4:20. Snow is up, though. Look at Snow. I don't know if this is from the earnings or just tech sympathy. SPY is up as well, though. All right, guys, SPY at 530s, Nvidia at 950s, Snow at 165s. Waiting here, chat. Waiting. We got about 6,000 people here live. Red or green, guys? Red or green for Nvidia? All right, so here's Snowflake's earnings. They should be dropping anytime now. Let's watch SNOW on the left side. All right, there they go. Earnings are out. Big pump up to 175 here, chat, for SNOW. I'm in SNOW as well here. I don't know if I'm green yet, though, but let me see. I am green. Okay, I'm green on my SNOW. Cool. Is this a positive sign towards tech and AI? 180s. So Snowflake just reported. Here, I gotta find their numbers. Hold on, chat. Bear with me. $182s for Snowflake. Hit 184s. Wow. They posted revenue of product revenue. I don't want the product revenue. I hate. All right. Revenue of 789.6 mil for Snow. 789.6 mil. Where's their EPS? I hate it when companies report earnings and they don't just straight up tell you what the numbers are. They make you dig for it. Where's EPS? Like they put some obscure metric that doesn't matter at the top. Just try to hype it up. And it's up a lot. I'm in Snowflake. I want it to go up, but net retention rate of 128%. $183s now for Snow. 183s here, chat. Net revenue retention was 128%. Revenue for the quarter, $828.7 million. All right, so here's Snow's results coming out. Again, Snow at 180s now. First quarter loss per share of 95 cents for SNOW. First quarter loss of 317 million. Again, Nvidia earnings are scheduled to drop in about 13 minutes here, chat. 13 minutes. And then the actual earnings call, we're going to stream fully live in its entirety as well at 5 o'clock. First quarter revenue, again, 828. We're going to put this up in chat. You'll be able to see it right here as soon as it's released. Nvidia earnings is going to have everybody reporting it. Yeah, here's Snow. EPS of 14 cents. They expected 18 cents. So a little bit worse than expected EPS. All right, chat. We still got about 13 minutes, 12 minutes until the numbers are set to drop. I'm just going to stay in Snowflake here. I'll probably just hold it. Here, again, here's Nvidia. Here's the SPY. Nvidia up to 950s here. So Nvidia still holding over 900s. Super Micro up to 78s. I mean, worse than expected is all relative to what the metric is. EPS doesn't usually have a lot of sway. Revenue came in higher than expected. I would say that probably trumps EPS in that situation. It all depends on guidance. So. Entire U.S. economy is depending on Nvidia. To a certain extent, it kind of is, right? To a certain extent, it kind of is. Again, it doesn't mean anything. Nvidia is just that, like, again, listen. Every decade plus, you get a powerful technology that changes the world. You know, we had computers in the 70s and 80s. In the 90s, you had the internet. And now we have AI. Right. And I really do believe AI is on that level of scale relative to those other things. I think it's similar. You know, I think the amount people don't understand the production power that we're going to have now with AI and artificial intelligence. It is genuinely good, genuinely good. It's going to be used in an array of different things that is going to change the world. And so, yeah, I mean, we can discredit it. And again, it doesn't mean Nvidia is going to hold. I hope Nvidia holds. But again, the internet was really useful in the late 90s. It ended up being a powerful world-changing thing, but we still had a market crash in the late 90s. And so it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold. I hope it does. But regardless of whether it holds or not, regardless of whether it pulls back, I do believe AI is that next thing. I think if you look at the production power that AI gives people now, it's gonna cause an exponential growth to production. And I think this is very self-evident in everything around it. I think the production increases that we're gonna get in tech and software and in computing power is just crazy. And it's gonna allow people to create a lot of really cool things now. Well, I think the internet is more of a base for sure, Fro. But yeah. So the $85 activation fee lasts until the end of the month, but the $250,000 challenge thing ends tomorrow. The earnings are released on schedule. If they drop on schedule, they're supposed to release at 4:20 Eastern time. They could release anytime now, but 4:20 Eastern time is when they should come out, I would say. All right, guys. 12 minutes. Or we got about 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes left here, chat. Again, 4:20 Eastern time is when they should drop. So again, we still got a couple minutes left. We got about 7,000 people here live here, chat. Again, we got 8 minutes, about 8 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be volatility, Doug. Doug says, I'm quite surprised there's not much volatility. There's not going to be, right? If you think about it in this regard, one of my favorite strategies lately has been waiting for big game-changing reports like Nvidia earnings, big stock market tech earnings, the FOMC report, CPI, big economic data releases and influential reports. I've been waiting for those reports to drop, and preceding those reports coming out, I've been attacking the chop. I've been shorting the top, buying the bottom in the S&P and the NASDAQ, and that has worked really, really well. You just got to be patient and wait for it. The reason it works is because, again, preceding these major reports, what do you get? A lot of the time you're going to get chop, right? So most of the time. So like, think about it like this. If we zoom out on the SPY, almost all day we've had chop. Now if we zoom into this spot here, with this strategy, and again, I did it today, you short the top, cover at the bottom, short the top, cover at the bottom, short the top, cover at the bottom. You find these rectangular ranges, and you just attack those ranges. Very simple, very easy. And so again, leading into these major reports, you're going to have choppiness. Even after we got this big breakdown from the Goldman Sachs guy, same concept here, You find a rectangular range. Short the top, cover at the bottom. Short the top, cover at the bottom. Short the top, cover at the bottom. And again, I'm not telling you it's going to work every time. What I'm telling you is that I think the choppiness is a super high probability leading into these big game-changing reports. And so it's not a shock to me that Nvidia, I'm not telling you to short Nvidia or anything like that. I'm long in Nvidia, but it's not a surprise that we're having sideways action because nobody wants to do anything. Everybody understands that when this report drops in about 7 minutes, 6 minutes, that it's going to cause massive volatility across the board in markets. And so they understand that. They're not going to take a huge position now because that's just a gamble. You know, not unless you're just trying to gamble. If you're just kind of gambling and justifying it with stock market, like do whatever you want to do. But yeah, we're going to have choppiness until the report drops, most likely in everything, not just in Nvidia, but in everything, most likely. Gold, S&P, NASDAQ. Nvidia meme stock. All right, Nvidia's starting to head up. It's at 951. So we still got time though. Again, hit that sub button, chat. Help your boy grow. We should break 140K today. We're almost certainly gonna break it today. Nvidia's starting to move up though. It's back up to over 950s. Again, the big question is, do we break 1,000 today? I don't know. I hope Nvidia absolutely destroys the number today. Destroys in a good or bad way. Just sub. Thanks for your live stream, pal. You know what I'm happy about? No gold, buy gold spammers, guys. Thanks so much. I think I banned all of them the last stream, maybe. No, so the numbers are scheduled to drop at 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. You'll know when the numbers come out because you're going to see a huge candle. Like, you'll know. The numbers aren't out. You'll know when they come out. You'll see a massive freaking candle here, like a big up or down candle, depending on what the numbers show up as. I shouldn't have said anything, guys. I will ban you guys if you say buy gold. Seriously, you know. Yeah, open the can of worms now, man. All right, guys. Hey, Nvidia breaking highs of the day up to 952s, at least tapping highs of the day. No breaks yet, but I always wonder about those people that spam buy gold. Like, do they genuinely think we're going to influence gold here? Like, I might have 7,000, 8,000 people watching, but I used to have a guy when I had like 400 people watching the stream, and he would come in and he would be like, yo, if we all buy Apple at the same time, guys. I'm sitting there like, bro, we could all buy 1,000 shares of Apple. It's not going to do anything, you know, too big of a float. Same thing with Nvidia. We could all buy Nvidia at the same time, and it's not going to do much. I don't know. Here with 8,000 people, maybe. All right, chat. We got 3.5 minutes left. 3.5 minutes. A Big Mac and a Dr. Pepper. Bro, Big Mac and Dr. Pepper prices at McDonald's have appreciated, dude. McDonald's price is up 140% in the last 5 years. All right, chat. Here we go. 3 minutes here. 3 minutes. SPY is down. Markets are quiet. Tumbleweeds are blowing in the wind. Let's see what happens here. Snowflake quarter one EPS was 14 cents. Missed the 18-cent estimates. Company reported a revenue beat, though. Here's some guidance numbers for Snow. The real question is how much is enough? The consensus that Nvidia delivered massive revenue growth for quarter one and will give a strong forecast. The average is 26.8 billion and the highest estimate is 31 billion. Yeah, but most of the estimates average out to about 24.17 billion. So we, you know, I don't think we should expect that. And I think that's a bad precedent to set if we're going to expect a ridiculous beat there. I think we should look at what the average expectation is and go with that. And so, yeah, I just think that's too early. Hey, thanks so much, though, for the donation. I don't know how much 20... Hey, thank you so much, bro. That's a $22 donation. Thanks so much, brother. Usually I do these, and it's like, hey, this person donated $50. And I'm like, all right, great. And I do the currency exchange, and it's like $1.30. And I'm like, oh, okay. But thanks. I mean, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks so much for the $20. I don't know if we should set that high of expectations for Nvidia. But again, I'm in Nvidia. I want it to go up. I hope it goes up. It's not out. You would see Nvidia move a lot when it's out. It's not out. So... All right, we're at 951s here, chat, for Nvidia 951s. Swiss francs, pesos, you know, rupees, yeah. All right, 1 minute, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button. Technically, it's scheduled here, guys. Technically, it's scheduled for 420. Everybody's favorite number. Nvidia's supposed to drop at 420. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's get ready. Nvidia's about to drop their report in about 1 minute. Hit the live button to make sure you're fully caught up on stream. You can also put it in fast forward mode. Since we're live, if you put it in fast forward mode, you won't get delayed and lags as much. And so again, be ready, chat. Here we go. We got about 9,000 viewers here. It didn't beat our last stream. Is this it? All right, you guys, 20 seconds into the scheduled release time. Nvidia also is notorious for being late on this report, though. So they have been late a lot. All right, here we go. 15 seconds, 10 seconds here, chat. I'm going to mute this because it's a little bit early. All right, guys, 5 seconds. Let's watch the price. It's at 950s. And here it is. Crickets. All right, guys, it's past the scheduled announcement time, and it's down. Nvidia earnings are out. They're down to 920s, 930s. Down to 920s, 919s. We're trying to find the numbers here, chat. Bear with me. Now it's retraced all the way back up here. It's retraced all the way back up. We're looking for it, guys. Everybody's waiting for it. Nvidia up to 970s, guys. It's about to break 1,000. All right, so Nvidia is out. They posted 26 billion quarterly revenue. 26 billion quarterly revenue. Adjusted EPS of 612. Beat the 559 estimates. Again, here's their adjusted EPS estimates. They beat both metrics here. Their revenue showed up at 26 billion. We were right about it, basically. We got these numbers correct. We're at 990s for Nvidia, chat. 990s here. Again, EPS 612 beat 559 estimates. They're about to hit 1,000. Nvidia is about to hit 1K. We got up to 997, 1,000. Remember, I told you milestone levels sometimes will tap them and not hold. Again, quarter one sales came in at 26.044 billion. Again, we beat EPS, beat revenue. I'm looking at the rest of the metrics here, chat. Bear with me. The next industrial, I'm gonna read this quote again. Adjusted EPS 612, first quarter sales 26 billion versus 24 billion expected. I'm gonna put this up on screen and I'm gonna read you this roller here, chat. Hey, buddy, here, very important moment for me, buddy. You gotta let me cover this right now, okay? Again, adjusted EPS 612 versus 559. Quarter one sales 26 beat the 24 estimates. We got these right. Did you remember what my guesses were for these numbers here? We almost hit 1,000 as well. We got very, very close to 1,000, chat jet. Very, very close. I'm going to read this right now. They said, quote, "The industrial revolution has begun. Companies and countries are partnering with Nvidia to shift the trillion-dollar traditional data centers to accelerated computing and build a new type of data center, AI factories, to produce a new commodity, AI," said Jensen Huang, founder of CEO of Nvidia. He said, quote, "AI will bring significant productivity gains to nearly every industry and help companies be more cost and energy efficient while expanding revenue opportunities. Our data center growth was fueled by strong and accelerated demand for generative AI training and inference at the Hopper platform. Beyond cloud services, generative AI has expanded to consumer internet companies and enterprise sovereign AI, automotive, and healthcare customers, creating multiple multi-billion-dollar vertical markets," he said, quote. We are poised for the next wave of growth. The Blackwell platform is in full production and forms the foundation for the trillion parameter scale generative AI. Spectrum X opens a brand new market for us to bring large scale AI to Ethernet only data centers. And Nvidia NIM is our new software offering that delivers enterprise grade optimized generative AI to run on CUDA everywhere, from the cloud to on-prem data centers and RTX AI PCs through our expansive network of ecosystem partners. End quote. Nvidia, guys, is trailing towards 1,000 now, trailing towards 1,000. You can see the SPY rip up. Again, they guide Q2 revenue of $28 billion plus or minus 2% versus $26.8 billion expected. So they beat on guidance as well, chat. So I'm going to add this. They did a guidance beat. They beat EPS. They beat revenue. And they're pushing towards $1,000 a share. They're at 990s right now, chat. 990. So again, I'm going to put this up on screen. Crazy beats for Nvidia. Crazy beats here. And again, remember, their earnings call is in about 7 minutes, chat. 7 minutes. Love you. All right. Yeah, guys. So we're at 993s now. Remember, we're going to stream the entire earnings call live on stream. Guys, the entire earnings call live on stream. We will stream the entire thing live as it happens. Chat, as it happens, the entire thing live. So stick around. We will cover the entire freaking thing as it happens, chat. Will we break $1,000? We're getting pretty freaking close right now. Pretty freaking close. You guys ready? Again, Nvidia markets. Let's see what happens here. Again, the full earnings call is going to be at 5 p.m. chat. So stick around. The full earnings call is going to be at 5 p.m. and we're going to cover it all. We're at 992s right now, chat. 992s. Again, the full call will be streamed live here at 5 p.m. The full call live here at 5 p.m. Yeah, so let's see. Are they doing a split now too? Let me see. Yeah, so they announced a 1-for-10 forward stock split effective June 7th. So a 1-for-10. So basically, guys, let me show you what this is going to do. This is going to make... This is going to bring the share price from about $9.90 to $99 a share. They're going to bring the share price down down 90% is what this is going to do. So again, or no, is it 20 to 1? I see a 10 to 1 split. Yeah, so again, it's a 10 to 1 split. And so this is going to 10x the share price down. Data center revenue, I'm going to put all this stuff up in chat. Yes, there's data center revenue up 23%. GAAP operating expenses $4 billion. Non-GAAP operating expenses $2.8 billion. First quarter professional visualization revenue came in at $427 million versus $483, so a little bit under expected there. All right, so yeah, Nvidia, Intel up big. Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That came in. It was a free. They gave me that for free. Yeah. Carol's here, guys. We got 8,000 people watching for Nvidia earnings. My wife Carol's here. Everybody say hey.
Hello.
Nvidia dipping down from 990. The question is, does it hold? The question is, does it hold? I think even if it holds a little bit, it's good. It's helping my Intel position as well, and I'm in Nvidia here, chat. So, again, stick around. The full earnings call is going to be live here. Again, full earnings call live here at 5 p.m. So again, stick around. I'm trying to fix my guide here so we can actually put some of this stuff up. There we go. All right, so here's the basic numbers here, chat, for everything. Again, they posted 612 EPS, beat 559s. If you remember what we guessed here for our numbers, we guessed it pretty accurately. I think I guessed, what did I guess? I guessed 25.5 billion, I think, in revenue. We showed up at 26. I think for EPS, I guessed, what did I guess for EPS? I think it was like 60. or it was like 560 EPS. And what did we show up as? We showed up at 612. So yeah, we did much better than expected for EPS though. But my revenue was pretty similar. 10-to-1 split is going to bring the price down, allow investors to buy more shares for cheaper. All right, baby. Yeah, I still got to do the earnings call. All right. All right, guys. So yeah, Carol, that's my mom's name. Yeah, Carol's got an old English grandma's name. Super micro down again. Nvidia's starting to calm all the way back down. Stick around for the earnings call, guys. The earnings call hasn't started yet. It starts in about 30 minutes here. They raised their cash divvy 150% to 1 cent a share on a post-split basis. Let me see. Yeah, definitely top 3. All right, we're at 964s for Nvidia, so we almost got up to 1,000. Remember what I said. Again, I've seen the markets for a long time. I've been trading for years. I've seen these big milestone levels happen. A lot of the time, remember what I said. I said a lot of the time a stock will go up right to the milestone level, tap it, and then come right back down. And that seems to be happening here for Nvidia. It's at 970s. Even if Nvidia can just hold its gains, I think it's an optimistic, good sign for AI. The earnings call could certainly impact price. We don't know yet. We got to sit around and wait for the earnings call. It's at 5 p.m. Yeah, profit taking is happening right now, almost certainly. And again, if you haven't already, check out one of my sponsors. Again, this is my first plug all of this stream. I'm pretty sure it's my first plug for all of this stream. Again, one of my sponsors is a company called Apex. Apex is a great way to learn how to day trade. There's limited risk. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you pass it, you get between 25K up to 300K in funding with a 90% split. It's a great way to learn day trading because you have limited risk, but 90% split once you're funded in futures. And this is in the futures market. You can see today trading futures, I am up $300 even in the futures market. Very similar to day trading stocks. And in the futures market, you can buy the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, a lot of stuff. If you look at Nvidia versus the actual SPY or the NASDAQ here, you can see how similar these look. Like, look at the Nvidia chart right here on the right, and then look at the NASDAQ. Very similar movement. I can day trade this left side in futures, no PDT rule. And these funded account programs give you a demo and they test your skill with a demo account. If you can pass the test with the demo, they fund you between, again, 25K up to 300K with a 90% split. And again, what Apex has going on right now, it ends tomorrow at noon. You can get a 250K challenge. So they'll give you a 250K demo if you can make 15K in profit without losing 6,500. A little bit better than a 2-to-1 ratio there. If you could pass that test, they fund you 250K with a 90% split. $18. So if you lose, you're out $18 for the first month. Nothing more. You don't owe them anything if you lose, except for you pay $18 to participate in this challenge. If you pass it, you get 250K in funding, 90% split. You get to keep your first 25K in profit. And Apex is one of the most legit in the world. They have paid out over $100 million, close to $200 million to their traders now. If you want to check them out, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. And so if you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. Understand CFTC 4.41. They're a sponsor. I'm biased. All that good stuff. You could use coupon code BT. Again, the sale ends tomorrow if you want to get it for $18. Right now, it's $18 for the 250K challenge. Again, you can see it. It's $16 before tax. All right, chat. So we are bouncing back. We're at 975. And again, this earnings call is going to be massive here. Chat, this earnings call is going to be huge. And so stick around. The earnings call starts in less than 30 minutes now. Less than 30 minutes. We might get, I don't know if we're going to get choppiness or what happens, but yeah. The split happens June 7th. I believe it's June 7th. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's June 7th. Let me go back and read. Again, I'm going to put everything up here. Why is the earnings call massive? Is because they're going to report a lot of the stuff. And we're also going to hear from Jensen. June 7th? Is it June 6th? Okay, yeah. Why didn't Nvidia and NASDAQ on TV climb too? What? Guidance on the new chip. I can't wait to hear about it. Yeah, so again, we're looking at all these reports here, chat. Quarterly dividend, 1 cent a share in post-split. Data center revenue, $22.6 billion, up 23%. Operating expenses at $4 billion. Non-GAAP operating expense of $2.8 billion. Split will be effected through amendment to restated certificate of incorporation. Stock split is going to make stock ownership more accessible to employees and investors. Again, they raised their dividend. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, you look good. Chat, come tell me if does Carol look good in this? Carol's coming in here. Let's turn it into a fashion show real quick. Hold on.
I got a little summer dress that came.
No, you look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was seeing if John liked it.
Top 3 dresses in the world right now. You know.
I think it was cute from Amazon.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyways, all right.
All right. You look good. You know, love you. All right. Anyways, back to stocks here. Jensen for president. Yeah, Jensen Huang. Super Micro is bouncing back again. Let's see if we can hold this level. Again, the previous closing price level is 953s. We're at 970s. We're $25 away from 1,000. Yeah, so we're $25 away from 1,000. We'll see if we hit it or not. Nvidia was too high already. I mean, it depends on how you gauge that. Again, if we look back at a year ago, EPS is 3x'd. Or EPS is 6x'd in the last year. 6x. It's gone up 6 times what it was a year ago. Earnings per share. Revenue has 3x'd, roughly. These are all approximate. And so if we look at share price, it's about 3x. It's following the increases in income and revenue. And so, we could say it's extended, but by what metrics is it extended is the question. Hey, I had my TV on mute. Did Nvidia announce a stock split? Yes. So it's a 10-to-1 split. Or a 1-to-10 split. Yeah, a 1-to-10 split is what it is. So every 1 share is going to turn into 10 shares through the stock split is what it is. Is the financial report out already? Yes. They might be in big, bold letters right here, underneath me. They might be in big letters that say what the numbers specifically were and all that good stuff. Hey, thanks for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. But yes, they announced the stock split. Can you explain to people who are dumb what the stock split might mean for the average investor or trader? Shares are going to be more affordable. So a stock split is typically a restructuring of shares to allow the price to go down. So like an example is like when a price of a stock gets to push towards generally 4 digits, right? So as a stock approaches 4 digits, going from the hundreds to the thousands, in general, companies can and will do what's called a stock split, which basically means they're splitting shares. They're splitting 1 share into many, right? So a 10-to-1 split is taking the current price of shares and making them 10 times smaller. And so every 10 shares, or for every 1 share of Nvidia that a stockholder currently has, if they hold it through the split, they're going to have 10 shares for every 1 share they have. So if they have 100 shares, they're going to have 1,000 shares at the end of this, right? So it's going to 10x their shares, and it's going to make the price of the stock 10 times cheaper. And so instead of being 1,000 roughly a share, it's going to be 100 roughly a share. At this point, it's going to be about $97.50 a share. So that's kind of what it's going to mean. It's going to 10 times the share price down and 10 times the amount of shares people have to hold. It's going to ultimately allow more exposure to the stock. It's going to allow people with smaller bankrolls to buy it now versus somebody who might say, yo, Nvidia's got $1,000 a share price. I can't afford that. I'm going to go buy something else instead. So it's going to open up the opportunity to hold shares to more people with smaller budgets in stocks. Rhythmic is if you want to use a software like I use Quant Tower. I use Quant Tower or NinjaTrader. If you want to use Tradeovate, it's a web-based platform. So if you want to download a software to your computer, a trading software, maybe if your computer can handle that. If you got a better computer, I would go with software. If you've got a cheaper computer, go with a web-based platform like Tradeovate. So I hope that makes sense. All right, guys. We got 20 minutes left. Let me switch out my headphones to where... Yeah, somebody talked about Carol's shoulders. Carol's a gymnast, is where she gets those shoulders from. All right, so again, I'm going to do this. Let me know if you can hear me. Chat, you should be able to hear me. There we go. You should be able to hear me now. Let me know. Yeah, the SPY is mostly flat, probably because Nvidia went up big and then pulled back some. And so, again, a lot of people are probably sitting around waiting for the earnings call to start, including myself. Like, I'm waiting for this earnings call to start. Hopefully, we get some good stuff from it. Mac equals better computer equals Tradeovate. I disagree, AJ. I think if you got a better computer, you should download a software from it. If you got a worse computer, you can just go to a website and trade, which is Tradeovate. They're talking about Quant Tower or Rhythmic or Tradeovate, which is if you want to use Apex and learn to day trade in a much cheaper way. Apex is the perfect middle ground of pressure because instead of risking thousands of dollars, if you put up 5K trying to day trade, you're probably going to lose 5K. Almost all traders lose their first few accounts, and so it makes absolutely no sense to risk thousands of dollars as a day trader. Instead, it's generally better to try a funded account program in futures if you want to learn to day trade, because that way you're only risking what it costs, like what the base one costs. The base one right now, if they got 90% off until tomorrow, but like an example of this is like if I want to learn to day trade, they're going to give me a 25K demo. If I can make 1,500 in profit without losing 1,500 in profit on this one, and it gives, again, real-time data fees. It gives it's included, so you get real-time data with it. Some paper trading accounts cost the same amount. So again, it's a great way to learn to trade. I still have some pressure because I'm still risking some money, but not the full extent of 5K risking that like a lot of new traders end up losing. And so again, if I pass this test, they give me 25K with a 90% split. If I make 10K after that, I keep 9 of that since it's 90%. They keep 10% since they're funding me that money. And again, they paid out over 100 million. It's a great way to learn how to day trade. Up until tomorrow, you can get this 250K one for like 18 bucks after tax. So again, I'll put this link up one more time. We got the earnings call starting pretty soon, chat. Pretty soon. Here's the link. Why don't you use this time to show the earnings info? Bro, what do you think is right below me right here, chat? Also, we've covered every major metric that they've dropped from gap, operating expenses, revenue, guidance, 10-to-1 split, everything. So again, we'll cover it again during the earnings call, and you can see most of it below me in big bold letters. But yeah. My guess is you're probably delayed. Hit the live button. You're probably a little bit delayed on the stream, bro. Yeah, 10-to-1 split. Again, we got first quarter gaming revenue came in at 2.6 billion. That's an interesting metric. Automotive and robotics revenue up to 329 million, up 11%. We'll post this here in chat as well. So again, so trading, they've recently revised this, and now that it's expected to start trading on a split adjusted basis, market open June 10th. BT, beginner trading. BT is the code. Hey, thanks, Diane. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. And again, Apex is a sponsor of mine. What would the profit look like on 100 shares after the split? You said 10x. Profit's going to stay the same. There's no difference in profits versus losses. They're just adjusting how many shares. An easier way to look at it is like this. The profit's gonna stay the same. Profit loss in your current positions on Nvidia is gonna stay the same. If you hold 1 share of Nvidia, you're now gonna hold 10 shares after the split. And so if I hold 100 shares, I'm now gonna hold 1,000 shares after the split. You know, so forth and so on. But the profit, everything like that's gonna stay the same. What would happen to your long dated options? They're probably going to adjust it. They're going to adjust the call or the strike prices and stuff like that to the split price, most likely. I don't know. I'm not a big options guy. So you're telling me the company doesn't actually double in size? Fun fact. So when I first started trading years and years ago, I got into a penny stock that had to do a reverse split. If you don't know what a reverse split is, it's the opposite of a stock split. So usually it happens when companies don't hit like the minimum price that you need to stay listed on exchanges. And so a company will need to artificially inflate the price of its shares. And so I remember I was holding a call option for a penny stock company, and they did a 30-to-1 reverse split. And so I thought my profits had just 30x'd. Looking at the share price, I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't even know how to do it. I was like, hey, I got to exercise this option. So I called my dad. I'm like, hey, can you loan me some money? And he was like, nah, like, get out of here. And then I realized that I wasn't actually up 30 times what I invested in it. Young and dumb stock traders chat. Young and dumb. Yeah, Dad, we're rich. Just loan me some money, bro. No, he was like, nah. He probably knew. All right, guys. Hey, we got 15 minutes. Chat, 15 minutes before earnings. Can you go through how to create an ATF account? No. You just got to look. It should be pretty self-evident, brother. Again, they should have instructionals on the site. Hey, thanks. Again, have reasonable expectations for these funded account programs. Remember, most day traders lose. That's probably the same here. Most day traders are probably going to lose here as well, because most day traders lose. Doesn't matter whether it's TOS or Apex. Most day traders lose. Just have reasonable expectations. What I would do is once you get funded, just lower your share size. Scale down your size. That's usually the better move, the best move, in my opinion. But everybody's different, Some people are going to really be able to run it up. Some people are going to be able to do whatever. Also, guys, if you want to check out Top Step, I think right now still has a pretty cheap deal going on also. So again, if you want to check them out as well, again, I'll post their link as well for Top Step. I'm pretty sure they got a pretty good deal going on. Top Step right now. What's Top Step's deal right now? Let me see. I think it's like $20 or something cheap. Right? Isn't it? Like the first one is like something cheap, right? But again, Top Step has got some, good ways to do it too. There's a bunch of different options. There's a Top Step link as well. Yeah. About that earnings call. It starts at 14 minutes, chat. 14 minutes for earnings. Let me fix this. There we go. That's better. Do you play the earnings call live? Yes. Full call streamed here live, 5 p.m. What trading platform is most similar to Ameritrade? Got to switch to Schwab and not digging it. I don't know. I'm still in TOS with Schwab. I don't know regarding which one's better or worse. I don't know. I don't really use Moomoo's not bad. Weeble's not bad. In terms of stock trap platforms. And futures, you see, I use Quant Tower, which is a lot like it, but it's futures. So if you want to use Apex, here's one. Very similar to TOS is this one, but again, it's futures, so it's not stocks itself. Yeah, 15 minutes until the Nvidia earnings call. Could the earnings call affect indexes? Yes. It's going to affect stocks and Nvidia, and Nvidia has a lot of influence over everything right now. Bro, if we buy Nvidia, are we still eligible for the stock split? Let me think of the easiest way to explain this. You don't profit or loss, like you're not getting anything for cheaper or more expensive. You're not getting a deal on Nvidia price. You're not getting Nvidia shares for 10 times less, really. Shares for everybody are going to go down 10 times less than what they are now, but the market cap is going to stay the same. And they're just going to lower, they're going to increase the float and decrease the price of shares to where it balances out exactly as it was before, but the share price is just going to be 10 times cheaper, and people holding shares now are going to get 10 times more shares, if that makes sense, right? There's not some huge discount on shares. It's still the same market cap, just less shares, or just more shares now and a cheaper price. Does that make sense? That's all the stock split is that the market cap stays the same, the value of the company stays the same. The shares now, you're going to have much more shares that are worth less instead of having less shares that are worth more at almost $1,000 a share, right? So the price of shares are going to go down to about $100. But then if you hold 100 shares of Nvidia, you're going to now own 1,000 shares of Nvidia to compensate for it. Does that make sense? Basically, they're trying to bring the price down so people can afford it. But the structure of the company is going to stay the same outside of that. Yeah, all good. No worries. Yeah, split makes it easier to buy. You know, that's essentially what it is. All right, Nvidia back up to almost 990s here. Will it break 1,000? It's close. Oh, I see. I think I put quarter 4. I gotta put quarter 1. I'm dumb, Chad. I'm dumb. All right, there we go. You got more patience than I do. I make a lot of money from this live stream, to be completely transparent. I try to be honest. That's the truth, in all honesty. But say a lot of people say a lot of people buy shares now at a lower price. Will that drive the price up? I mean, yes. And that's kind of the point of it, is that it's going to make it cheaper and allow more people to buy shares, and all the buys coming in might affect the price in a positive way. But the company structure, the market cap, everything like that's going to stay the same. You know, that's the benefit of bringing shares down. That's why they're doing it. Allow it to be more affordable for most people. From this live stream, how much are you making off of ad revenue? From this specific stream, I'll probably make like $500. I make way more money from sponsors though. So yeah, we're gonna make more from sponsors. Cheap PE. What's the PE ratio now? Is it better? Let me see what the new PE ratio is. I haven't even checked the new PE ratio for Nvidia. I know the PE ratio prior to this was what, like 60 or something? Let me see. Y'all can hear the music, correct? I just want to confirm you all can hear the music. Here, let me just calculate this myself. All right, so let's calculate the PE. I'm not going to use the forward PE or anything like that. I'm just going to look at the base PE. So 612 is what we showed up as, plus 516, plus 4.02, plus 2.7. All right, so here is the yearly EPS value. It's at $18 a share. $18 a share. It's out 984s, 18. The PE ratio is now 54. So the PE ratio is getting better for Nvidia. It's better than what it was a year ago, I think, or at least it's comparable to what it was a year ago. The lower PE, the better it is. This is the price to earnings ratio for those that don't understand the formula I'm using. So yeah, in the 50s isn't bad. Low 50s. You know, ideally a good PE ratio right now is like 15, 20, 25. And so it's still high conventionally, but you know, All right, guys, you guys ready for the Nvidia earnings call? It should be fun. People always ask me what news source I use. Guys, I use a number of different sources. Like the reason I get all these news reports quickly is because I don't just use one news source. Like I have a bunch of monitors that you guys can't see, and I track a lot of different sources to get and usually if one reports one faster, others might report others faster, and so I kind of combine them all. Can you hear the music? Be honest. You're one of the most down-to-earth traders I've watched for a while. Thank you. Anything. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. A good PE ratio is 15, 20, 25. Which one of them? I mean, what do you like better, chocolate or vanilla cake? You know, the lowest one is the best one. 15 is the best one. 20 is, define good. I might say chocolate cake is good. You might say, no, it's not. Vanilla cake is better. Now, and that's not really the best analogy here, but the point is they're all good, I would say. But what I consider good, somebody else might consider extended. Like some people might think 25 is extended. I think in the current market it's good, but it's subjective to a certain extent, I guess, right now. Lower is better. Yeah, I'm still in Boeing. Every time somebody says, hey, John, you still in this? I always have to look at it to make sure it didn't crash. Yeah, I'm in it. I'm green on it. My average price is 172s. It's at 180s. So we're green. All right, Nvidia up to 990s here, chat. 990s. CFDs aren't allowed. Futures are. Moya. Wait, just a look. Can y'all hear the music? I just want to make sure. Cause somebody was like, what music? I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it? Super Micro. Elf by the dip. Yeah, Elf reported earnings. Okay, you can. Yes? Okay, good. All right. All right, so again, if you want to watch NVIDIA's earnings, stick around. We're going to cover it live. Also, guys, check out one of my other sponsors. Now, again, this is my second plug. I've done all stream, and we've been streaming for hours. So just to clarify, second plug, I've done all stream. Don't hate me. I'm definitely selling out of here. They're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased, but I actually genuinely like this company. And I was always kind of skeptical of algorithmic companies, but with AI, I think these indicators are getting better and better. There's a company called Chart Prime. It's a TradingView indicator service you can use with anything with a symbol on TradingView. I think they're incredibly powerful. Like, look at these just today since, now we're going to have choppiness, but just look at these last three. These strong signals are powerful. And this is called the Market Oracle. Look at the strong buy signal here, bounce for hours. This is a 5-minute chart, so you can see how long this is. This is a long time. Strong sell signal here, beautiful drops for like 3 hours. Buy signal here, rip up afterwards. And so again, you can keep going back and testing them. Anything with a symbol you can use them on. Look at the strong signals. Those are my favorite ones. Like, look at these. Like, we'll go back all the way to here, I guess, or we'll go back to here. Strong signal worked. This one worked. This one worked. This one worked. This one probably didn't work. This one, I can call it not working. So that's 2. This one worked. 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 This one probably didn't work. So that's 3. This one probably didn't work. That's 4. That one worked. That one worked. That one worked. That one worked. Okay, so that's 4 that didn't work. 4. So let's tally up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 4 out of 18. So that is over 75% accuracy. I can't fake this either. You can also see it shows you triangles, flags, breakout patterns, so much cool stuff. And it does a really good job of predicting the tops and bottoms. Anything with a symbol on TradingView, you can use it in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures, whatever you want, you can use it on, and it works fairly well. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased because they pay me money. And so there's always going to be a certain amount of bias I have for these companies. Buy them, test them out yourself. To be honest, to me, I love using it. It works really, really well. Check it out. Here's the link. If you want to check it out, you can get 40. It's like $40 a month. So one good one can help pay for it. Anyways, chat, we're at 990s here on Nvidia. We need $10. We got up to 998s, roughly 998s, 997, 92s. And so the real question is, will we break 1,000 today? I think it's a big if, but I think it's possible. I think the split is overall good news. I think it'll lower the barrier of entry. And so, and again, if you want to check out any of my sponsors, any of that good stuff, link is in the description. All right, chat. Here we go. All right, guys, we're here. I'm sorry. I don't know what my live stream was doing. Again, earnings call is about to start right now, so forgive me. We're here. Let me mute the music. Again, we're here. Bear with me. There we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know what StreamYard's doing, but we're here. Earnings call's about to start. I know. I know we freezed. All right. Can y'all hear me? We should be good. We should be good. All right. Do you see two of me? Really? All right, guys. Earnings call's about to start right now. There we go. We're back up. We got it running. My bad, chat. Weird, dude. Might be time for me to upgrade computers here as well, but it's all good. We're here. We're going to get the earnings call started. And it's about to start right now. Still waiting here. So I'm going to mute the music so you guys can make sure to see it. And yeah. All right, when it starts, guys, I'm going to do a sound check. I need you guys to make sure you're here with me and that you can hear it. Okay? So I'm going to do a sound check when it starts.
Good afternoon. My name is Regina, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to NVIDIA's first quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press star 1 again. Thank you. Simona Jankowski, you may begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the first quarter of fiscal 2025. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the second quarter of fiscal 2025. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made as of today, May 22nd, 2024, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. Let me highlight some upcoming events. On Sunday, June 2nd, ahead of the Computex Technology Trade Show in Taiwan, Jensen will deliver a keynote which will be held in person in Taipei, as well as streamed live. And on June 5th, we will present at the Bank of America Technology Conference in San Francisco. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thanks, Simona. Q1 was another record quarter. Revenue of $26 billion was up 18% sequentially and up 262% year-on-year, and well above our outlook of $24 billion. Starting with data center. Data center revenue of $22.6 billion was a record, up 23% sequentially and up 427% year-on-year, driven by continued strong demand for the Nvidia Hopper GPU computing platform. Compute revenue grew more than 5x, and networking revenue more than 3x from last year. Strong sequential data center growth was driven by all customer types, led by enterprise and consumer internet companies. Large cloud providers continue to drive strong growth as they deploy and ramp Nvidia AI infrastructure at scale and represented the mid-40s as a percentage of our data center revenue. Training and inferencing AI on Nvidia CUDA is driving meaningful acceleration in cloud rental revenue growth, delivering an immediate and strong return on cloud providers' investment. For every $1 spent on Nvidia AI infrastructure, cloud providers have an opportunity to earn $5 in GPU instant hosting revenue over 4 years. Nvidia's rich software stack and ecosystem and tight integration with cloud providers makes it easy for end customers to get up and running on Nvidia GPU instances in the public cloud. For cloud rental customers, Nvidia GPUs offer the best time to train models, the lowest cost to train models, and the lowest cost to inference large language models. For public cloud providers, Nvidia brings customers to their cloud, driving revenue growth and returns on their infrastructure investments. Leading LLM companies such as OpenAI, Adept, Anthropic, Character AI, Cohere, Databricks, DeepMind, Meta, Mistral, xAI, and many others are building on Nvidia AI in the cloud. Enterprises drove strong sequential growth in data center this quarter. We supported Tesla's expansion of their training AI cluster to 35,000 H100 GPUs. Their use of Nvidia AI infrastructure paved the way for the breakthrough performance of FSD version 12, their latest autonomous driving software based on vision. Video transformers, while consuming significantly more computing, are enabling dramatically better autonomous driving capabilities and propelling significant growth for Nvidia AI infrastructure across the automotive industry. We expect automotive to be our largest enterprise vertical within data center this year, driving a multi-billion revenue opportunity across on-prem and cloud consumption. Consumer internet companies are also a strong growth vertical. A big highlight this quarter was Meta's announcement of Llama 3, their latest large language model, which was trained on a cluster of 24,000 H100 GPUs. Llama 3 powers Meta AI, a new AI assistant available on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Llama 3 is openly available and has kickstarted a wave of AI development across industries. As generative AI makes its way into more consumer internet applications, we expect to see continued growth opportunities as inference scales both with model complexity as well as with the number of users and number of queries per user, driving much more demand for AI compute. In our trailing 4 quarters, we estimate that inference drove about 40% of our data center revenue. Both training and inference are growing significantly. Large clusters, like the ones built by Meta and Tesla, are examples of the essential infrastructure for AI production, what we refer to as AI factories. These next-generation data centers host advanced, full-stack, accelerated computing platforms where the data comes in and intelligence comes out. In Q1, we worked with over 100 customers building AI factories ranging in size from hundreds to tens of thousands of GPUs, with some reaching 100,000 GPUs. From a geographic perspective, data center revenue continues to diversify as countries around the world invest in sovereign AI. Sovereign AI refers to a nation's capabilities to produce artificial intelligence using its own infrastructure, data, workforce, and business networks. Nations are building up domestic computing capacity through various models. Some are procuring and operating sovereign AI clouds in collaboration with state-owned telecommunication providers or utilities. Others are sponsoring local cloud partners to provide a shared AI computing platform for public and private sector use. For example, Japan plans to invest more than $740 million in key digital infrastructure providers, including KDDI, Sakura Internet, and SoftBank, to build out the nation's sovereign AI infrastructure. France-based Scaleway, a subsidiary of the Iliad Group, is building Europe's most powerful cloud-native AI supercomputer. In Italy, Swisscom Group will build the nation's first and most powerful Nvidia DGX-powered supercomputer to develop the first LLM natively trained in the Italian language. And in Singapore, the National Supercomputer Center is getting upgraded with Nvidia Hopper GPUs, while Singtel is building Nvidia's accelerated AI factories across Southeast Asia. Nvidia's ability to offer end-to-end compute to networking technologies, full-stack software, AI expertise, and rich ecosystem of partners and customers allows sovereign AI and regional cloud providers to jumpstart their country's AI ambitions. From nothing the previous year, we believe sovereign AI revenue can approach the high single-digit billions this year. The importance of AI has caught the attention of every nation. We ramped new products designed specifically for China that don't require an export control license. Our data center revenue in China is down significantly from the level prior to the imposition of the new export control restrictions in October. We expect the market in China to remain very competitive going forward. From a product perspective, the vast majority of compute revenue was driven by our Hopper GPU architecture. Demand for Hopper during the quarter continued to increase. Thanks to CUDA algorithm innovations, we've been able to accelerate LLM inference on H100 by up to 3x, which can translate to a 3x cost reduction for serving popular models like Llama 3. We started sampling the H200 in Q1 and are currently in production with shipments on track for Q2. The first H200 system was delivered by Jensen. H200 nearly doubles the inference performance of H100, delivering significant value for production deployments. For example, using Llama 3, which with 700 billion parameters, a single Nvidia HGX H200 server can deliver 24,000 tokens per second, supporting more than 2,400 users at the same time. That means for every $1 spent on Nvidia HGX H200 servers at current prices per token, an API provider serving Llama 3 tokens can generate $7 in revenue over 4 years. With ongoing software optimizations, we continue to improve the performance of NVIDIA AI infrastructure for serving AI models. While supply for H100 improve, we are still constrained on H200.
I don't know.
200 and Blackwell
They're back.
is well ahead of supply, and we expect demand may exceed supply well into next year. Grace Hopper Superchip is shipping in volume. Last week at the International Supercomputing Conference, we announced that 9 new supercomputers worldwide are using Grace Hopper for combined 200 exaflops of energy-efficient AI processing power delivered this year. These include the ALPS supercomputer at the Swiss National Supercomputing Center, the fastest AI supercomputer in Europe, Isambard AI at the University of Bristol in the UK, and Jupiter in the Jülich Supercomputing Center in Germany. We are seeing an 80% attach rate of Grace to Hopper in supercomputing due to its high energy efficiency and performance. We are also proud to see supercomputers powered with Grace Hopper take the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 spots of the most energy efficient supercomputers in the world. Strong networking year-on-year growth was driven by InfiniBand. We experienced a modest sequential decline, which was largely due to the timing of supply, with demand well ahead of what we were able to ship. We expect networking to return to sequential growth in Q2. In the first quarter, we started shipping our new Spectrum-X Ethernet networking solution optimized for AI from the ground up. It includes our Spectrum-4 switch, BlueField 3 DPU, and new software technologies to overcome the challenges of AI on Ethernet to deliver 1.6x higher networking performance for AI processing compared with traditional Ethernet. Spectrum-X is ramping in volume with multiple customers, including a massive 100,000 GPU cluster. Spectrum-X opens a brand new market to Nvidia networking and enables Ethernet-only data centers to accommodate large-scale AI. We expect Spectrum-X to jump to a multi-billion-dollar product line within a year. At GTC in March, we launched our next-generation AI factory platform, Blackwell. The Blackwell GPU architecture delivers up to 4x faster training and 30x faster inference than the H100 and enables real-time generative AI on trillion-parameter large language models. Blackwell is a giant leap with up to 25x lower TCO and energy consumption than Hopper. The Blackwell platform includes the 5th generation NVLink with a multi-GPU spine and new InfiniBand and Ethernet switches, the X800 series, designed for a trillion-parameter scale AI. Blackwell is designed to support data centers universally, from hyperscale to enterprise, training to inference, x86 to Grace CPUs, Ethernet to InfiniBand networking, and air cooling to liquid cooling. Blackwell will be available in over 100 OEM and ODM systems at launch, more than double the number of Hoppers launched and representing every major computer maker in the world. This will support fast and broad adoption across the customer types, workloads, and data center environments in the first year of shipments. Blackwell time-to-market customers include Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI, Oracle, Tesla, and xAI. We announced a new software product with the introduction of Nvidia Inference Microservices, or NIM. NIMs provide secure and performance-optimized containers powered by Nvidia CUDA acceleration in network computing and inference software, including Triton Inference Server and TensorRT LLM with industry-standard APIs for a broad range of use cases, including large language models for text, speech, imaging, vision, robotics, genomics, and digital biology. They enable developers to quickly build and deploy generative AI applications using leading models from Nvidia, AI21, Adept, Cohere, Getty Images, and Shutterstock, and open models from Google, Hugging Face, Meta, Microsoft, Mistral AI, Snowflake, and Stability AI. NIMs will be offered as part of our Nvidia AI enterprise software platform for production deployment in the cloud or on-prem. Moving to gaming and AI PCs. Gaming revenue of $2.65 billion was down 8% sequentially and up 18% year-on-year, consistent with our outlook for a seasonal decline. The GeForce RTX Supers GPUs market reception is strong, and end demand and channel inventory remain healthy across the product range. From the very start of our AI journey, we equipped GeForce RTX GPUs
Again, this is on their end.
RTX GPUs are perfect for gamers, creators, AI enthusiasts, and offer unmatched performance for running generative AI applications on PCs. Nvidia has full technology stack for deploying and running fast and efficient generative AI inference on GeForce RTX PCs. TensorRT LLM now accelerates Microsoft's Phi 3 mini model and Google's Gemma 2B and 7B models, as well as popular AI frameworks, including LangChain and Llama Index. Yesterday, Nvidia and Microsoft announced AI performance optimizations for Windows to help run LLMs up to 3x faster on Nvidia GeForce RTX AI PCs. And top game developers, including NetEase Games, Tencent, and Ubisoft, are embracing Nvidia Avatar Character Engine to create lifelike avatars to transform interactions between gamers and non-playable characters. Moving to ProViz. Revenue of $427 million was down 8% sequentially and up 45% year-on-year. We believe generative AI and Omniverse industrial digitalization will drive the next wave of professional visualization growth. At GTC, we announced new Omniverse Cloud APIs to enable developers to integrate Omniverse industrial digital twin and simulation technologies into their applications. Some of the world's largest industrial software makers are adopting these APIs, including Ansys, Cadence, 3D Excite, at Dassault Systems, Brand, and Siemens. And developers can use them to stream industrial digital twins to spatial computing devices such as Apple Vision Pro. Omniverse Cloud APIs will be available on Microsoft Azure later this year. Companies are using Omniverse to digitalize their workflows. Omniverse-powered digital twins enable Wistron, one of our manufacturing partners, to reduce end-to-end production cycle times by 50% and defect rates by 40%. And BYD, the world's largest electric vehicle maker, is adopting Omniverse for virtual factory planning and retail configurations. Moving to automotive, revenue was $329 million, up 17% sequentially and up 11% year-on-year. Sequential growth was driven by the ramp of AI cockpit solutions with global OEM customers and strength in our self-driving platforms. Year-on-year growth was driven primarily by self-driving. We supported Xiaomi in the successful launch of its first electric vehicle, the SU7 sedan built on the Nvidia Drive Orin, our AI car computer for software-defined AV fleets. We also announced a number of new design wins on Nvidia Drive Thor, the successor to Orin, powered by the new Nvidia Blackwell architecture, with several leading EV makers, including BYD, XPeng, DAC's Ion Hyper, and Neural. Drive Thor is slated for production vehicles starting next year. Okay, moving to the rest of the P&L. GAAP gross margin expanded sequentially to 78.4% and non-GAAP gross margins to 78.9% on lower inventory charges. As noted last quarter, both Q4 and Q1 benefited from favorable component costs. Sequentially, GAAP operating expenses were up 10% and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 13%, primarily reflecting higher compensation-related costs and increased compute and infrastructure investments. In Q1, we returned $7.8 billion to shareholders in the form of share repurchases and cash dividends. Today, we announced a 10-for-1 split of our shares, with June 10th as the first day of trading on a split-adjusted basis. We are also increasing our dividend by 150%. Let me turn to the outlook for the second quarter. Total revenue is expected to be $28 billion, plus or minus 2%. We expect sequential growth in all market platforms. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 74.8% and 75.5%, respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points, consistent with our discussion last quarter. For the full year, we expect gross margins to be in the mid-70% range. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $4 billion and $2.8 billion, respectively. Full-year OpEx is expected to grow in the low 40% range. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $300 million, excluding gains and losses from non-affiliated investments. GAAP and
Again, they're running into some errors with their audio. This is not me. This is Nvidia's audio that keeps glitching out.
and other information available on our IR website. I would like to now turn it over to Jensen, as he would like to make a few comments.
Thanks, Colette. The industry is going through a major change. Before we start Q&A, let me give you some perspective on the importance of the transformation. The next industrial revolution has begun. Companies and countries are partnering with Nvidia to shift the trillion-dollar installed base of traditional data centers to accelerated computing and build a new type of data center, AI factories, to produce a new commodity, artificial intelligence. AI will bring significant productivity gains to nearly every industry and help companies be more cost and energy efficient while expanding revenue opportunities. CSPs were the first generative AI movers. With Nvidia, CSPs accelerated workloads to save money and power. The tokens generated by Nvidia Hopper drive revenues for their AI services. And Nvidia Cloud instances
Yep, I don't know what's going on with their audio. It's terrible.
on the Hopper platform propels our data center growth. Training continues to scale as models learn to be multimodal, understanding text, speech, images, video, and 3D, and learn to reason and plan. Our inference workloads are growing incredibly. With generative AI, inference, which is now about fast token generation at massive scale, has become incredibly complex. Generative AI is driving a from foundation up, full stack computing platform shift that will transform every computer interaction. From today's information retrieval model, we are shifting to an answers and skills generation model of computing. AI will understand context and our intentions, be knowledgeable, reason, plan, and perform tasks. We are fundamentally changing how computing works and what computers can do. From general purpose CPU to GPU accelerated computing, from instruction-driven software to intention understanding models, from retrieving information to performing skills. And at the industrial level, from producing software to generating tokens, manufacturing digital intelligence. Token generation will drive a multi-year build-out of AI factories. Beyond cloud service providers, generative AI has expanded to consumer internet companies and enterprise, sovereign AI, automotive, and healthcare customers, creating multiple multi-billion-dollar vertical markets. The Blackwell platform is in full production and forms the foundation for trillion parameter scale generative AI. The combination of Grace CPU, Blackwell GPUs, NVLink, Quantum, Spectrum, NICs and switches, high-speed interconnects, and a rich ecosystem of software and partners let us expand and offer a richer and more complete solution for AI factories than previous generations. Spectrum X opens a brand new market for us to bring large-scale AI to Ethernet-only data centers. And Nvidia NIMs is our new software offering that delivers enterprise-grade, optimized generative AI to run on CUDA everywhere, from the cloud to on-prem data centers to RTX AI PCs through our expansive network of ecosystem partners. From Blackwell to Spectrum X to NIMs, we are poised for the next wave of growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Jensen. We will now open the call for questions. Operator, could you please poll for questions?
At this time, I would like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. As a reminder, please limit yourself to 1 question. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my questions. My first one, I wanted to drill a little bit into the Blackwell comment that it's in full production now. What does that suggest with regard to shipments and delivery timing if that product doesn't sound like it's sampling anymore? What does it mean when that's actually in customers' hands if it's in production now?
We will be shipping. Well, we've been in production for a little bit of time, but our production shipments will start in Q2 and ramp in Q3, and customers should have data centers stood up in Q4.
Got it. So this year we will see Blackwell revenue, sounds like.
We will see a lot of Blackwell revenue this year.
Our next question will come from the line of Timothy Arcuri with UBS. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot. I wanted to ask Jensen about the deployment of Blackwell versus Hopper, just given the system's nature and all the demand for GB that you have. How does the deployment of this stuff differ from Hopper? I guess I asked because liquid cooling at scale hasn't been done before, and there's some engineering challenges both at the node level and within the data center. So do these complexities sort of elongate the transition, and how do you sort of think about how that's all going? Thanks.
Yep. Blackwell comes in many configurations. Blackwell is a platform, not a GPU. And the platform includes support for air-cooled, liquid-cooled, x86, and Grace, InfiniBand, now Spectrum X, and very large NVLink domain that I demonstrated at GTC, that I showed at GTC. And so for some customers, they will ramp into their existing install base of data centers that are already shipping Hoppers. They will easily transition from H100 to H200 to B100. And so Blackwell systems have been designed to be backwards compatible, if you will, electrically, mechanically. And of course, the software stack that runs on Hopper will run fantastically on Blackwell. We also have been priming the pump, if you will, with the entire ecosystem, getting them ready for liquid cooling. We've been talking to the ecosystem about Blackwell for quite some time. And the CSPs, the data centers, the ODMs, the system makers, our supply chain beyond them, the cooling supply chain base, liquid cooling supply chain base, data center supply chain base. No one is going to be surprised with Blackwell coming and the capabilities that we would like to deliver with Grace Blackwell 200. GB200 is going to be exceptional.
Our next question will come from the line of Vivek Arya with Bank of America Securities. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. Jensen, how are you ensuring that there is enough utilization of your products and that there isn't a pull ahead or hoarding behavior because of tight supply, competition, or other factors? What checks have you built in the system to give us confidence that monetization is keeping pace with your really, very strong shipment growth?
Well, I guess there's the big picture view that I'll come to, but I'll answer your question directly. The demand for GPUs in all the data centers is incredible. We're racing every single day, and the reason for that is because applications like ChatGPT and GPT-4o, and now it's going to be multimodality, and Gemini and its ramp and Anthropic, and all of the work that's being done at all the CSPs are consuming every GPU that's out there. There's also a long line of generative AI startups, some 15,000, 20,000 startups that in all different fields, from multimedia to digital characters, of course, all kinds of design tool application, productivity applications, digital biology, the moving of the AV industry to video so that they can train end-to-end models to expand the operating domain of self-driving cars. The list is just quite extraordinary. We're racing, actually. Customers are putting a lot of pressure on us to deliver the systems and stand it up as quickly as possible. And of course, I haven't even mentioned all of the sovereign AIs who would like to train all of their regional natural resource of their country, which is their data, to train their regional models. And there's a lot of pressure to stand those systems up. So anyhow, the demand, I think, is really, really high, and it outstrips our supply. Longer term, that's the reason why I jumped in to make a few comments. Longer term, we're completely redesigning how computers work, and this is a platform shift. Of course, it's been compared to other platform shifts in the past, but time will clearly tell that this is much, much more profound than previous platform shifts. And the reason for that is because the computer is no longer an instruction-driven only computer. It's an intention understanding computer. And it understands, of course, the way we interact with it, but it also understands our meaning, what we intend, that we asked it to do, and it has the ability to reason, inference iteratively to process a plan, and come back with a solution. And so every aspect of the computer is changing in such a way that instead of retrieving pre-recorded files, it is now generating contextually relevant, intelligent answers. And so that's going to change computing stacks all over the world. And you saw a build that, in fact, even the PC computing stack is going to get revolutionized. And this is just the beginning of all the things that, what people see today are the beginning of the things that we're working in our labs and the things that we're doing with all the startups and large companies and developers all over the world. It's going to be quite extraordinary.
Will come from the line of Joe Moore with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Great, thank you. Understanding what you just said about how strong demand is, You have a lot of demand for H200 and for Blackwell products. Do you anticipate any kind of pause with Hopper and H100 as you sort of migrate to those products? Will people wait for those new products, which would be a good product to have, or do you think there's enough demand for H100 to sustain growth?
We see increasing demand of Hopper and we expect demand to outstrip supply for some time. As we now transition to H200, as we transition to Blackwell. Everybody is anxious to get their infrastructure online, and the reason for that is because they're saving money and making money, and they would like to do that as soon as possible.
Our next question will come from the line of Toshiya Hari with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for taking the question. Jensen, I wanted to ask about competition. I think many of your cloud customers have announced, new or updates to their existing internal programs, right, in parallel to what they're working on with you guys. To what extent do you consider them as competitors, medium to long term? And in your view, do you think they're limited to addressing mostly internal workloads, or could they be broader in what they address going forward? Thank you.
Yeah, we're different in several ways. First, NVIDIA's accelerated computing architecture allows customers to process every aspect of their pipeline, from unstructured data processing to prepare it for training, to structured data processing, data frame processing like SQL to prepare for training, to training, to inference. And as I was mentioning in my remarks, that inference has really fundamentally changed. It's now generation. Trying to just detect a cat, which was plenty hard in itself, but it has to generate every pixel of a cat. And so the generation process is a fundamentally different processing architecture, and it's one of the reasons why TensorRT LLM was so well received. We improved the performance in using the same chips on our architecture by a factor of 3. That kind of tells you something about the richness of our architecture and the richness of our software. So one, you could use NVIDIA for everything from computer vision to image processing to computer graphics to all modalities of computing. And as the world is now suffering from computing cost and computing energy inflation because general purpose computing has run its course, accelerated computing is really the sustainable way of going forward. So accelerated computing is how you're going to save money in computing, is how you're going to save energy in computing. And so the versatility of our platform results in the lowest TCO for their data centers. Second, we're in every cloud. And so for developers that are looking for a platform to develop on, starting with NVIDIA is always a great choice. And we're on-prem, we're in the cloud, we're in computers of any size and shape. We're practically everywhere. And so that's the second reason. The third reason has to do with the fact that we build AI factories. And this is becoming more and apparent to people that AI is not a chip problem only. It starts, of course, with very good chips. And we build a whole bunch of chips for our AI factories, but it's a systems problem. In fact, even AI is now a systems problem. It's not just one large language model. It's a complex system of a whole bunch of large language models that are working together. And so the fact that NVIDIA builds this system causes us to optimize all of our chips to work together as a system, to be able to have software that operates as a system, and to be able to optimize across the system. And just to put it in perspective in simple numbers, if you had a $5 billion infrastructure and you improve the performance by a factor of 2, which we routinely do, when you improve the infrastructure by a factor of 2, the value to you is $5 billion. All the chips in that data center doesn't pay for it. And so the value of it is really quite extraordinary. And this is the reason why today performance matters everything. This is at a time when the highest performance is also the lowest cost, because the infrastructure cost of carrying all of these chips costs a lot of money, and it takes a lot of money to fund the data center, to operate the data center, the people that goes along with it, the power that goes along with it, the real estate that goes along with it. All of it adds up. And so the highest performance is also the lowest TCO.
Our next question will come from the line of Matt Ramsey with TD Cowen. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Jensen, I've been in the data center industry my whole career. I've never seen the velocity that you guys are introducing new platforms at the same combination of the performance jumps that you're getting. I mean, 5x in training. Some of the stuff you talked about at GTC up to 30x in inference. And that it's an amazing thing to watch, but it also creates an interesting juxtaposition where the current generation of product that your customers are spending billions of dollars on, it's going to be not as competitive with your new stuff very, very much more quickly than the depreciation cycles of that product. So I'd like you to, if you wouldn't mind, speak a little bit about how you're seeing that situation evolve itself with customers. As you move to Blackwell, they're going to have very large installed bases, obviously software compatible, but large installed bases of product that's not nearly as performant as your new generation stuff. And it'd be interesting to hear what you see happening with customers along that path. Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Three points that I'd like to make. If you're 5% into the build out versus if you're 95% into the build out, you're going to feel very differently. And because you're only 5% into the build out, anyhow, you build as fast as you can. And when Blackwell comes, it's going to be terrific. And then after Blackwell, as you mentioned, we have other Blackwells coming, and then we're on a 1-year rhythm as we've explained to the world, and we want our customers to see our roadmap for as far as they like, but they're early in their build out anyways, and so they had to just keep on building. Okay, and so there's going to be a whole bunch of chips coming at them, and they just got to keep on building and just if you will, just average your way into it. So that's the smart thing to do. They need to make money today. They want to save money today, and time is really, really valuable to them. Let me give you an example of time being really valuable. Why this idea of standing up a data center instantaneously is so valuable, and getting this thing called time to train is so valuable. The reason for that is because the next company who reaches the next major plateau gets to announce a groundbreaking AI. And the second one after that gets to announce something that's, 0.3% better. And so the question is, do you want to be repeatedly the company delivering groundbreaking AI, or the company, delivering 0.3% better? And that's the reason why this race, as in all technology races, the race is so important. And you're seeing this race across multiple companies, because this is so vital to have technology leadership, for companies to trust the leadership and want to build on your platform, and know that the platform that they're building on is going to get better and better. And so leadership matters a great deal. Time to train matters a great deal. The difference between time to train that is, 3 months earlier just to get it done, in order to get time to train on a 3 months project, getting started 3 months earlier is everything. And so it's the reason why we're standing up Hopper systems like mad right now, because the next plateau is just around the corner. And so that's the second reason. The first comment that you made is really a great comment, which is, how is it that we're moving so fast and advancing so quickly? Because we have all the stacks here. We literally build the entire data center, and we can monitor everything, measure everything, optimize across everything. We know where all the bottlenecks are. We're not guessing about it. We're not putting up PowerPoint slides that look good. We're actually, we also like our PowerPoint slides to look good, but we're delivering systems that perform at scale. And the reason why we know they perform at scale is because we built it all here. Now, one of the things that we do that's a bit of a miracle is that we build entire AI infrastructures here, but then we disaggregate it and integrate it into our customers' data centers however they like. But we know how it's going to perform, and we know where the bottlenecks are. We know where we need to optimize with them, and we know where we have to help them improve their infrastructure to achieve the most performance. This deep, intimate knowledge at the entire data center scale is fundamentally what sets us apart today. We build every single chip from the ground up. We know exactly how processing is done across the entire system. And so we understand exactly how it's going to perform and how to get the most out of it with every single generation. And so I appreciate it. Those are the 3 points.
Your next question will come from the line of Mark Lipacis with Evercore ISI. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Jensen, in the past, you've made the observation that general purpose computing ecosystems typically dominated each computing era, and I believe the argument was that they could adapt to different workloads, get higher utilization, drive cost compute cycle down, and this was a motivation for why you were driving to a general purpose GPU CUDA ecosystem for accelerated computing. And if I mischaracterize that observation, please do let me know. So the question is, given that the workloads that are driving demand for your solutions are being driven by neural network training and inferencing, which on the surface seem like a limited number of workloads, then it might also seem to lend themselves to custom solutions. And so then the question is, does the general purpose computing framework become more at risk, or is there enough variability or a rapid enough evolution on these workloads that support that historical general purpose framework? Thank you.
Yeah, NVIDIA's accelerated computing is versatile, but I wouldn't call it general purpose. Like, for example, we wouldn't be very good at running, that was really designed for general purpose computing. And so there's the control loop of an operating system code probably isn't fantastic for general purpose computing, not for accelerated computing. And so I would say that we're versatile, and that's usually the way I describe it. There's a rich domain of applications that we're able to accelerate over the years, but they all have a lot of commonalities. Maybe some deep differences, but commonalities. They're all things that I can run in parallel. They're all heavily threaded. 5% of the code represents 99% of the runtime, for example. Those are all properties of accelerated computing. The versatility of our platform and the fact that we design entire systems is the reason why, over the course of the last 10 years or so, the number of startups that you guys have asked me about in these conference calls is fairly large. And every single one of them, because of the brittleness of their architecture, the moment generative AI came along, or the moment diffusion models came along, the moment the next models are coming along now, and now all of a sudden, look at this, large language models with memory. Because the large language model needs to have memory so they can carry on a conversation with you, understand the context. All of a sudden, the versatility of the Grace memory became super important. And so each one of these advances in generative AI and the advancement of AI really begs for not having a widget that's designed for one model, but to have something that is really good for this entire domain, properties of this entire domain, but obeys the first principles of software. That software is going to continue to evolve. That software is going to keep getting better and bigger. We believe in the scaling of these models. There's a lot of reasons why we're going to scale by easily 1 million times in the coming few years for good reasons, and we're looking forward to it, and we're ready for it. And so the versatility of our platform is really quite key, and it's not, if you're too brittle and too specific, you might as well just build an FPGA or you build an ASIC or something like that, but that's hardly a computer.
Our next question will come from the line of Blaine Curtis with Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my question. I actually kind of curious. I mean, being supply constrained, how do you think about? I mean, you came out with a product for China H20. I'm assuming there'd be a ton of demand for it, but obviously you're trying to serve your customers with the other Hopper products. Just kind of curious how you're thinking about that in the second half. You could elaborate, any impacts, what you're thinking for sales as well as gross margin.
I didn't hear the question. Something bleeped out.
H20 and how you're thinking about allocating supply between the different Hopper products.
Well, we have customers that we honor, and we do our best for every customer. It is the case that our business in China is substantially lower than the levels of the past, and it's a lot more competitive in China now because of the limitations on our tech. Those matters are true. However, we continue to do our best to serve the customers and the markets there, and to the best of our ability, we'll do our best. And so, but that, I think overall the comments that we made about demand outstripping supply is for the entire market, and particularly so for H200 and Blackwell towards the end of the year.
Our next question will come from the line of Srini Pajjuri with Raymond James. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Jensen, actually more of a clarification on what you said. GB200 systems, it looks like there is a significant demand for systems. Historically, I think you've sold a lot of HGX boards and some GPUs, and the systems business was relatively small. So I'm just curious, why is it that now you are seeing such a strong demand for systems going forward? Is it just the TCO, or is it something else, or is it just the architecture? Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. In fact, the way we sell GB200 is the same. We disaggregate all of the components that make sense, and we integrate it into computer makers. We have 100 different computer configurations that are coming this year for Blackwell, and that is off the charts. Hopper, frankly, had only half, but that's at its peak. It started out with way less than that even, and so you're going to see liquid cooled version, air cooled version, x86 versions, Grace versions, so on and so forth. And there's a whole bunch of systems that are being designed, and they're offered from all of our ecosystem of great partners. Nothing has really changed. Now, of course, the Blackwell platform has expanded our offering tremendously. The integration of CPUs and the much more compressed density of computing, liquid cooling is going to save data centers a lot of money in provisioning power, and not to mention to be more energy efficient. And so it's a much better solution. It's more expansive, meaning that we offer a lot more components of a data center, and everybody wins. The data center gets much higher performance, networking, from networking switches, networking, of course, NICs. We have Ethernet. now, so that we can bring NVIDIA AI to a large-scale NVIDIA AI to customers who only know how to operate Ethernet because of the ecosystem that they have, and so Blackwell is much more expansive. We have a lot more to offer our customers this generation around.
Our next question will come from the line of William Stein with Truist Securities. Please go ahead.
Great. Thanks for taking my question. Jensen, at some point, NVIDIA decided that while there were reasonably good CPUs available for data center operations, your ARM-based Grace CPU provided some real advantage that made that technology worth delivering to customers, perhaps related to cost or power consumption or technical synergies between Grace and Hopper or Grace and Blackwell. Can you address whether there could be a similar dynamic that might emerge on the client side, whereby while there are very good solutions, you've highlighted that Intel and AMD are very good partners and deliver great products in x86, but there might be some, especially in emerging AI workloads, some advantage that NVIDIA can deliver that others have more of a challenge?
Well, you mentioned some really good reasons. It is true that for many of the applications, our partner our x86 partners are really terrific, and we build excellent systems together. But Grace allows us to do something that isn't possible with the system configuration today. The memory system between Grace and Hopper are coherent and connected. The interconnect between the two chips, calling it two chips is almost weird because it's like a super chip. The two of them are connected with this interface. That's like a terabytes per second. It's off the charts. And the memory that's used by Grace is LPDDR. It's the first data center grade low power memory. And so we save a lot of power on every single node. And then finally, because of the architecture, because we can create our own architecture with the entire system now, we could create something that has a really large NVLink domain, which is vitally important to the next generation large language models for inferencing. And so you saw that GB200 has a 72 node NVLink domain. That's like 72 Blackwells connected together into one giant GPU. And so we needed Grace Blackwells to be able to do that. And so there are architectural reasons, there are software programming reasons, and then there's system reasons that are essential for us to build them that way. And so if we see opportunities like that, we'll explore it. And so today, as you saw at the build yesterday, which I thought was really excellent, Satya announced the next generation PCs, Copilot plus PC, which runs fantastically on NVIDIA's RTX GPUs that are shipping in laptops, but it also supports ARM beautifully, and so it opens up opportunities for system innovation even for PCs.
Our last question comes from the line of CJ Muse with Cantor Fitzgerald. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. I guess, Jensen, a bit of a longer-term question. I know Blackwell hasn't even launched yet, but obviously investors are forward-looking, and amidst rising potential competition from GPUs and custom ASICs, how are you thinking about NVIDIA's pace of innovation ahead? Your million-fold scaling over the last decade, truly impressive. CUDA, sparsity, precision, Grace, coherent connectivity. Forward to be solved in the coming decade, and I guess maybe more importantly, what are you willing to share with us today?
Well, I can announce that after Blackwell, there's another chip, and we are on a 1-year rhythm, and so you can also count on us having new networking technology on a very fast rhythm. We're announcing Spectrum X for Ethernet, but we're all in on Ethernet, and we have a really exciting roadmap coming for Ethernet. We have a rich ecosystem of partners. Dell announced that they're taking Spectrum X to market. We have a rich ecosystem of customers and partners who are going to announce taking our entire AI factory architecture to market. And so for companies that want the ultimate performance, we have InfiniBand Computing Fabric. InfiniBand is a computing fabric. Ethernet's a network. And InfiniBand, over the years, started out as a computing fabric, became a better and better network. Ethernet is a network. And with Spectrum X, we're going to make it a much better computing fabric. And we're committed, fully committed to all three links: NVLink computing fabric for a single computing domain, to InfiniBand computing fabric, to Ethernet networking computing fabric. And so we're going to take all three of them forward at a very fast clip. And so you're going to see new switches coming, new NICs coming, new capability, new software stacks that run on all three of them. New CPUs, new GPUs, new networking NICs, new switches, a mountain of chips that are coming. And all of it, the beautiful thing is all of it runs CUDA, and all of it runs our entire software stack. So if you invest today on our software stack, without doing anything at all, it's just going to get faster and faster and faster. And if you invest in our architecture today, without doing anything, it will go to more and more clouds and more data centers, and everything just runs. And so I think the pace of innovation that we're bringing will drive up the capability on the one hand and drive down the TCO on the other hand. And so we should be able to scale out with the NVIDIA architecture for this new era of computing and start this new industrial revolution where we manufacture not just software anymore, but we manufacture artificial intelligence tokens, and we're going to do that at scale. Thank you.
That will conclude our question and answer session and our call for today. We thank you all for joining, and you may now disconnect.
All right, guys. So that is the end of today's show. Again, we'll see what happens, chat. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We should be doing a crypto show. Let me check with Cam real quick to make sure we're doing a crypto show today. I'm pretty sure we are. While I'm doing that real quick, if you haven't already, again, check out my sponsors. Check out Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. I'm going to preface this with, look, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can, but you can use it with anything with a symbol on trading view. If I put this up here, you can see just for today, they have the Chart Prime Market Oracle Backtester Oscillator Screener. If I put the Oracle Pro up, which is really my favorite one, as well as I'll go ahead and put the dynamics up. You can kind of see, look at these signals. Sell signal drop, strong signal buy, strong signal bounce, strong signal drop, strong signal bounce. Pretty accurate. I can't fake this even if I wanted to, but like these don't repaint. They show up I think one candlestick later. And so genuinely impressive, genuinely impressive. And yeah, pretty interesting here. And so if you want to check out Chart Prime, it's a trading view service. Again, you can use it in stocks, crypto, Forex, future, anything with a symbol on trading view, you can use it. And again, I'll put the link up in chat real quick. I appreciate the love. Let me know if we got any lag. Here's the link. Check them out. Also, my other sponsor, is Apex. On Apex, their sale ends tomorrow, chat. So if you do want to sign up to Apex, if you do want to take advantage, right now for the time being, you can get the 250K challenge for like $16 pre-tax, like before tax. So again, if you make 15K in profit, they give you a demo. They test your skill in futures. They're one of the most legit ones in the world. They've paid out over 100 million. They give you these challenges, and this one's only about $16 to take it. It teaches you how to trade. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. Although again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. But again, you got to make 15K without losing 6,500 first in this one. If you do, they fund you 250K with a 90% split. Just a great way to learn day trading. I'll put this link up here as well. And again, let me check with Cam. I'm pretty sure we're doing a crypto show, so do not go anywhere, chat. This for Apex ends tomorrow. Remember, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. Let me check. Yeah, there he is. Okay, he's here. All right, so yeah, we're gonna be doing our crypto show. Let me make sure we got this set up and running. I gotta make sure we do this. And yeah, guys, what did you guys think of the Nvidia earnings call? Nvidia breaking highs, going crazy, up to well over 1,000 now. If we get this out the way, well over 1,000. We're at 1,003 currently. Look at this price for Nvidia. Just a crazy gain, honestly, just a ridiculous gain. Let me make sure my redirect is working. Hey, guys, listen, we need 250 subs to break 140,000. I mean, we'll break it tomorrow if we don't break it today, but I would really love to break 140K today. We got 2,000, 2,100 people here concurrently. I'd really love to break it today. So, hey, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and yeah, I'll see you over at the crypto show. We got the crypto show getting ready to roll here. Chad, I know we missed some shows last week. You know, I had some family members that, you know, we were dealing with some stuff on their end. But again, let me know what you guys think. And again, as soon as we close this stream, you won't have to go anywhere. As soon as we close this stream, it should immediately bring you to the crypto channel. If it doesn't for whatever reason, again, I'm going to give you this link right here. Let me make sure we got you the right keywords. And then, yeah, so again, I'm going to close this stream. As soon as I close this stream, it should immediately bring you to the crypto show. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, let me know. But again, here's the link right here if you want to check it out. So if it doesn't for whatever reason, here's the link to the channel. Let me make sure this is right. Nvidia to 10,000 confirmed. There's the link. Tell your wives and dads to subs. Yeah, I'm going to go call one of my top 3 wives ever. 150 subs until 140K. Let me see. Should I stick around until I hit 140,000? Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure. We got over 50,000 views for this current stream. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we're redirected. Okay, that's good. All right, let me check here, chat. Yeah, we need 250 subs or so. I'm going to just go ahead and close it down and start our crypto show today. So it's all good, guys. Again, as soon as we close this stream down, it'll bring up the crypto show. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there. Again, you won't have to go anywhere. As soon as I close it down, this one will work. So I'll see you guys over there. There's the link in chat if it doesn't bring you for whatever reason. Thanks so much to the donation.